3 a.m. Cold air, streetlights humming, something's moving you. Static in the distance, signal cutting through, like in the night.
Streetlights flicker, screens glow blue, voices whisper, watching you. Heartbeat heavy, concrete floor. You said you'd leave,
You want more. 3 a.m. 3 a.m. 3 a.m. Something's moving you. Something's moving you. You don't know why. You don't know who. But something's moving you. Gray skies, closed blinds, red dots blinking in straight lines. Citywide, tension tight, signal rising, like in the night, like in the night, like in the night. Don't look down, don't look back. Feel the rhythm in the crack. 3 a.m. No disguise. Truth is written in your eyes. Something's moving you. Something's moving you.
calm but intense. When the world goes quiet, that's when you hear it. Not on the screen,
Oh yeah.
not in the light, in the dark.
Like in the night. Like in the night. I am the voice of the commonwealth, across the silence, across the static. I have spoken. I have spoken. 3 a.m. Feel it rise. No more sleeping. Open eyes. Like in the night. Like in the night. Like in the night. Something's moving you. You won't stop it.
Oh.
3 a.m.
It's Mike in the night, folks. It's 3 a.m. and something is moving you.
3 a.m.
Today is
3 a.m.
Monday, the 10th of August, 2026. We are in week 33 of 2026. And I bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you'll be watching this transmission. Whether you're watching us from your condo in the sky, or a camper or cabin in the woods, or relaxing on your lazy boy. People of the night, welcome to Mike in the Night, the voice, the true voice of the Commonwealth, the man that doesn't get paid to be here. I'm just here to be with you guys, and it's been a long 36 seasons we've been here together for Mike in the Night. And I want to thank everyone that's tuning into the show for the first time, or tuning in as a first-time listener. Please hang around, chill out with us, maybe open a window, get some fresh air in. Maybe if you're somewhere cold, light a nice fire in the fireplace. Maybe crack open something nice and cold or nice and warm to drink. Sit back, relax, because it's Mike in the Night. It's 3 a.m. somewhere, and something is moving you. All right, guys, I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. It is an absolute honor to be here with tonight. I was actually very excited to come on this show to be here with you tonight. And here we are. Here we are. 664. Oh, yeah. And people are asking, a lot of people are asking, Mike, what's up with 666? So maybe we're going to do 666 Mike in the Night. Maybe we'll do Mike in the Night-a-thon. We'll do a 6-hour marathon show for you guys. I'm going to figure it out. We're going to try to do a 6-hour marathon show. I'll start it at 3 p.m. my time, so I could go to 9 p.m. my time type of thing for you guys. So we could do like a 6-hour marathon show and try to raise $100 in coffee donations to pay for half my internet bill. So we could do that or something. We could do something like that, like a marathon, like a Jerry Lewis marathon. You know what I'm saying? All right, 664, here we go. Let's go through some channel. You are tuned into episode 664 of Mike of the Night. Governments are running out of options. I think we used that title. I honestly think we used that before. Or governments are running out of stories, or governments are running out of ideas, or the ideas are falling. Well, I think we've done governments are running out of options, Mike in the Night already, but they are running out of options, and it's not looking good right now. And, guys, if you want to join our email list, just email me, MikeMartins1980@gmail.com. Just send me an email, say, hey, Mike, it's whatever. Just add me to your email list. I don't want to miss an episode. That's it. I won't bother you. And then you'll be in tune for emergency last-minute episodes because people ring the bell and they don't get notifications. A lot of people don't. And guys, remember, viewer discretion is advised, 21 and older. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Fact check and do your own research. That is 18 U.S. Code Section 2257 for Mike in the Night. Woo! It's 3 a.m. and something is moving you. And before we kick things off, I want to get into the monologue. And yeah, I want to get into, I usually, not write up, I usually think out a monologue for you guys. I think it out when I'm lying in bed. I'm usually thinking of, what do I say at the introduction of the show? How do I get people to hold on, right? And what monologue should I go with? What would be, and it just goes back to the same thing. It all ties back to we were sold a future of lies. Plain and simple. We were sold the future of lies, and you could work 50, 60, 70 hours a week and still struggle to afford a one-bedroom apartment. Remember when one bedrooms were 40, 50, 60,000 for a one bedroom? Now in some major cities in Canada and the US, 800,000 for what? A one bedroom for what? For something that's fallen apart and the maintenance is going down, and then you got to pay strata fees, and what has happened? Think about how insane that is, folks. How much money does somebody, think about it, how much money does somebody actually need now just to live a very comfortable life? I'm not talking about to be rich. I'm just talking about, and even drive a fancy car. I'm talking about just a roof over your head. Okay, decent food, decent health care, public transportation where you're not going to get stabbed on, right? Or murdered on. You know what I mean? And maybe enough left over just to go out and see a movie or have dinner somewhere. It's gotten so bad, we were told so long, go to school, get these student loans, get a degree, work hard. Remember all that? And you'll have a future. And a lot of people did exactly that. They followed that. Even my parents were hardwired. My parents never went to school, but they were hardwired into making me get that education, get ahead, get the best grades in your class, right? Now, everyone I know in my generation, right, they're all carrying debts. A lot of them are carrying student loan debts for decades. While the life that they promised us just keeps moving further out of reach, right? Making it impossible. And look what it's doing to people, folks. No one's looking at the aftermath now. And then we've been doing Mike in the Night Aftermath series, and we're talking about the aftermath. Families are dividing. You're either divided from global warming, climate change, Donald Trump, proxy wars, whatever your family's divided. The mainstream media, COVID, take the vaccine, whatever you're divided. Your family's divided somewhere, somehow along the lines, right? And people are becoming more isolated. Stress everywhere, mental breakdowns. Everybody's starting to break down mentally. Depression, anger. People are freaking out, going off the handle everywhere. People are working harder, and somehow they're living off worse, right? And somewhere along the way, humanity has lost its kindness. People aren't humble anymore. No one's patient anymore. We're fighting each other instead of asking why basic life has become so damn difficult. And we did a video series in 2014. The American dream is dead. It's all survival now. And we did a whole 4-part series on that, talking about the American dream is dead. It's all survival. The Canadian dream is dead. Did we even have one to build off, right? And food is becoming less affordable, right? And we've been warning you guys. We were said by 2020 people will be bought out of food. And we talked about the energy wars, all these wars, and housing is becoming less accessible because of the Chinese money laundering. They laundered $2.4 to $2.6 trillion in the housing market. In Canada, 2.4 to 2.6 trillion, 1.7 trillion, 1.8 trillion in Australia, 588 billion in New Zealand, creating bidding wars, artificial shortages. Up until March 2024, the Chinese laundered their last dollars into Halifax, Canada. It was the last dollars that were laundered into Canada through real estate. Why did it take 14 years for them to shut it down? Because Canada was building its economy off of real estate and using the Chinese dirty money for it. And don't forget the fentanyl coming in from China too. And our healthcare is crumbling. And we were sold an image of the future. Work hard today and tomorrow will be better. Remember that image they were selling us? Our parents were selling us that image, right? But what? For millions of people today, the tomorrow never arrived. Tomorrow never came for a lot of people. And every road seems to lead back to the same lies. Every road leads to the same lies. And that's why today's title of Mike in the Night is governments are running out of distractions, or the story is falling apart. Because this is why history matters, folks. Because if you don't know where you came from or where you were or how it was, you can't understand why you are here now or how you got here. And that's what they're doing. They're warping it. And if you can't understand where you are, in my opinion, you'll never see what's coming. Welcome to tonight's Mike of the Night, guys. I really appreciate you guys being here. And I think we're going to have some fun tonight, guys. All right. All right, let's go to the chat, guys. I'm not ignoring you on the chat. Someone saying, "Hey, homie, enjoy your stream. I had some suggestions I want with you, but I don't want to spam your chat. Let's Discord. I'm actually banned on Discord. I got banned. Remember, guys, we got banned on Discord. I don't know, like 5 years ago now. And then and after Elon Musk bought X, I got banned for my video. I think Elon Musk owned X for 6 months, and I got banned for my video how Hamas got played. Yeah, so Shauna Visions is saying you're on episode 664. What will be episode 666? I think I'm going to do the Mike in the Night-a-thon 6-hour show for you guys. Right? So, anyways, okay. Let's get into a quick channel plug, and we are off to the races. I got some pretty good headlines. I got some connecting the dots for you guys today. I've been connecting the dots for so many years now. Now we're going back to stuff we said and what we did, and it's all coming. It's all happening. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys, buy your boy a coffee. Buy Mike a coffee if you guys want to support the transmission. Buy me a coffee, guys. There's a link in the description. I'll put a link in the live chat if you're watching this on replay, guys. This is it. This is how where do you make money on this, Mike? Right here. Buy me a coffee. We get usually 2 to 3 coffees every show, and I appreciate that, guys. And Let me refresh that. Mike of the Night should be live right now here. I have a way to have it go live. There it is right there live. So Mike of the Night on YouTube, guys. Very limited episodes because we were kicked off of YouTube for 4 years. So very limited episodes. You got to go to mikeofthenight.org to get most of Mike in the Night here, going back to the dark years of COVID and pre-COVID too. 2019, 2018 episodes are going up here now if you guys want to watch them. And guys, don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Facebook, we're doing well. We're doing really well on Facebook, guys. Facebook has opened us up. Instagram has opened us up. And this is the Instagram you guys are going to go to if you want to call into the show when we open lines. And we're still banned on TikTok. I'm getting emails every day and messages every day asking where I am on TikTok. But they took us down for the 4th time on TikTok. And I'm not going to bother with TikTok. I got an electronic digital trespass notice. And X. If we were on X now, we're back on X again. So if you want to follow us on X, go ahead and follow us on X. Just type in Mike Martins or at @1_Mike_Martins. All right. You are tuned into Mike in the Night, the voice of the Commonwealth. All right. Woo! It's pretty warm here. I love you guys. Still have internet connection in Merritt. Guess the fire bypassed Merritt. Yeah, there's one fire that just bypassed us yesterday. Someone saying, "Yo, Mikey." So Dave Gravel is on the Dave Gravel is in the house here tonight. AAA Jimmy's in the house. And so yeah, love you, Average Mike. Revelator, thanks guys. Carney's probably letting it burn. Yeah, so I'm talking to. I got to be careful how I word this. Let's just say I work in a place. I got my own business in town, and people could come and see me. Let's just say I'm open to the public. I'm not hiding. I'm not Joe Rogan or Russell Brand. I'm not hiding. You can come and see me. Now, I had guys come in and see me and tell me, "Yeah, just so you know, they're letting the fire burn 3-4 days before they go put them out. They reached a certain point and then they go put it out. They just let it burn." Yeah, we knew. And then I'm like, you know, this is all arson. It's like, yep, this is all arson. Yep, this is all arson. It's arson season, folks. Go back to our 2021 videos on the channel. 2022, arson season comes every year. Every year, we don't have a summer anymore. It's this bullshit smoke. Right there. It's this bullshit smoke. You don't want to believe in climate change or global warming or whatever the bullshit they want to sell you? Then we're going to burn it. And that's what they did. They're burning it. And now we're paying for it. Europe is burning. Everywhere is burning. And Europe is saying it's the migrants. Europe is saying it's these piece of crap migrants that came here that have nothing to lose. And they're just going to burn it to the ground. And also Italy saying it's the migrants. Right? All right, let's get into, I got a really, really, really important story for you guys here today. This one I think is very important because it deals with our future a lot. Like a lot. Because this is what's been happening is going to shape our futures. And it's going to brainwash the next 2, 3, 4, 5 generations. What am I talking about? Influencer Joe Fells dies at age 40. The content creator was known for sharing his experience living out of a van, his work as a business owner, and spiritual life. That's on People magazine, I guess, is reporting this. Joe Fells, influencer, dies at age 40. Now you guys are, so what? Well, here's the thing. Do you know why he died at age 40? This guy is doing what I've been saying and what I've been doing and preserving all these years. And no, not living out of a van. Joe Fells was 72 hours from uploading the Forbidden Bible and the Palestinian maps that rewrite history. Then he was found dead. This gentleman here was doing what I do, collecting rare books. I've shown you guys my rare books, and hard to find medical books and hard to find books published in the 16, 17, 1800s telling history. And I've been very vocal about this is very important because this is the digital book burning we've been warning you guys for the last 15 years. I'm not kidding. Now, let's go into this and see why he was. 40-year-old real estate investor turned off-grid pioneer was found dead on Monday, but here's what the mainstream media won't tell you. He was literally days away from releasing a digital archive that he believed will shatter the carefully constructed narratives that control our world. Which one is it? Well, we know the old and lost versions of the Bible. We've discussed this on the channel through our God files that we did, our God file. We talked about that. Books on Freemasonry. Okay, that's something else. Yeah, it's kind of out in the open. And writings from the around 50 years after. This is the key right here. Writings from around 50 years after the death of Jesus that show old maps of Palestine rewriting the entire history of the region and challenging the narratives that have been used by Israel to justify decades of conflict. Right there. That's the one right there. So it's not saying that, they're going to debunk Jesus or anything. They just want to show maps of Palestine and rewriting of entire history that the region has challenging the narratives that have been used by Israel to justify decades of conflict. Right there. And ancient texts, writings, and other historical texts. But believe me, this is the box that checked off his life. This is the box right here that they went after. Once he checked that box right there, they went right after him. This is really heartbreaking, and send his condolences to his family and prayers. And this is something very, 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 very vital because it's crucial. And we've been here, again, telling you, the race to erase the past, digital book burning in full force, CID. Deleting histories for a better future, digital book burning in full force, that was 3 years ago. Digital book burning, more deleted videos as people start to lose confidence in government, 7 years ago. They are erasing the past fast, digital book burning, CCP money laundering. Please help preserve and document current events now, digital book burning, reconstruct history 4 years ago. Look at all these videos we made this. Look at all these videos. Destruction of recorded history is on purpose. Major digital book burning, mass distractions 8 years ago. Digital book burning, America's first intoxication. Look, I'm reading from a history book here for you guys. My book, one of my books. And I'm saying this because I've said it before. And look at my channel. Look at my channel. And I was talking about, look, digital book burning, more deleted videos. Look at the videos I was making. I was calling out, this must have been, so this video is from 7 years ago. So this was 9 years ago now. According to this S2, but it's 9. After School Satan Club. We were calling out After School Satan Club 8-9 years ago when it was starting to take form and effect in upstate Michigan. We were covering this. We were discussing about After School Satan. We were debunking Satan. We were debunking the whole idea, and we said it's evil. For the children don't need to. It's classic evil. And then around that same time, you know what else spun? And we were covering on our channel. What else spun at that time was After School Storytime Drag Queen Hour in the libraries. And that was happening in that was happening in New York. Upstate New York was taking on drag queen story hour. And at the same time, the After School Satan Club was going. And we were going on to everything. Look, what if the economy did crash 100% in 2008? Like, we were going into a lot of conspiracy stuff back in those days. Way back in the days. We even suffered a first channel termination. In 2011 was our first YouTube channel termination. What were we on? What were we talking about? That's basically so dangerous that they have to remove the channel, right? And removed other channel. And that's why I keep saying, saying preserve old books, preserve clippings, preserve use periodicals, preserve scrolls, preserve things. And it goes back to the analogy I keep telling you guys, the same analogy every time. In 100 years from now, not a single person watching this video right now live will be alive. In 100 years, nobody will. But you know what they're going to be telling kids at school? They're going to be telling kids that the United States of America went into to defeat the evil Saddam Hussein in Iraq. And they went in there and they found all these weapons of mass destruction in bunkers all over Iraq. And the evil Saddam Hussein was planning on blowing up the whole world. And if it wasn't for America to save the day, we wouldn't be here today. They're going to change history. We know there were no weapons of mass destruction. We know they didn't find anything. We know nothing happened. Well, the country got destroyed. But we know that there was nothing that they were accusing them of. But in 100 years from now, mark my words, they're going to be telling people that he did have weapons of mass destruction. Watch. And that's why we need to preserve physical texts. We need to preserve books. All right, who's in the comments? Yeah, old book, says Dino Bravo. Yeah, we're on Crusades 2.0 level, and worldwide society economically is designed for collapse. Watch, Anthony, when you get time, go to our Mike in the Night back episodes. Watch what you said there. Watch Crusades 2.0. We did one. We did 2.0 part 2, and part 1 we did back in 2021. Crusades 2.0. Yeah, buy books, physical books. Collect books at garage sales, old books. Those books I show you guys in videos that I make videos of showing you guys these old books. Buy those. Keep them in your family. They're going to be worth more than money. Believe me. Information's going to be worth more than all the money in the world. Yeah, someone just said something here. The notorious BG saying, we will be arrested for having any paper. Does that ring a bell? Fahrenheit 90, what was that? Fahrenheit 90, Fahrenheit 60, 69, Fahrenheit 67? What was that movie? I saw it not too long ago. No, Freedom Mark, not weapons. Weapons of mass destruction, nuclear weapons. Remember Colin Powell was trying to sell you? They got this nuclear bunker, nuclear enrichment, nuclear this and nuclear that. Give me a sec, folks. Let me just... Remember that? He's going to blow up the world. Fahrenheit 451. Yeah, it's 451. Fahrenheit. I think you guys are right. Fahrenheit 451. Where it was illegal to have paper, right? And that's what you need to do, is preserve paper for your families. All right, let's spare a thought for those living in Canada. Toronto real estate prices wipe out 2026 gains, drop to a 5-year low. Oh, we're just getting started. 2026 gains. You're going to go back to 2018. You're going to go back over here. You're going to go back to 2008. This is when the Chinese money laundering came into Canada, right here, 2010. And then boom. Look what 1.2 to 2.4 to 2.6 trillion dollars does to a housing market. Look at that. Look at that. 1.2, 1.3 million dollar mark. Look at that for a detached house that you could buy in Florida for 50 grand, 60 grand. Oh, what are you talking about, Mike? 50. Go look at the house for sale for $1.2 million. You could buy the same house in Florida for 120 grand, 80 grand. This is bullshit here. Look at this. Look at this. Look what that Chinese money did to Canada. And Carney. Yeah, Mark McCartney. Remember this clown? Carney says, no, we got to get the booing here. Where's the boo? All right, Mark Carney says he doesn't have the doesn't see the value of using energy as a leverage. What are they talking about? Donald Trump. What happened to his picture? There you are, niche. And he says, "Oh no, we don't have there's no value in using energy as leverage." He's right. This is the first thing this man said that was right. Why is he right? Does anybody know in the comments why this man is right? He is right about this. He does not need to. He doesn't see the value in using energy as leverage. Why? Because America has Venezuela now. We predicted that. We predicted that war 7 months in advance and told you they're going for Venezuela. They don't need. America doesn't need Canada. They'll just go get Venezuelan oil. And they did. And that's why he's saying, we don't need to bargain. We don't need to bargain energy. They're just getting it from Venezuela now. Right? And Canadians won't tolerate Carney hiking gas taxes. Again, remember they got rid of the carbon tax and everyone thought they were winning a war? I still remember that. I was telling people before they scrapped the carbon tax, I said, they're going to scrap the carbon tax and they're just going to make up another tax to make up for that tax, and they'll tax you on something else. And everyone made fun of me, and here it is right here. There's the video of there, right here. Carbon tax wars explain. They will abolish the tax, then rename it Carbon Tax 2.0. That's all they're going to do. And in that video back in 2024, early 2024, we told you that they're just going to tax. They'll find something. They'll even create an artificial tsunami somewhere if they have to, through the HARP technology. Through HARP technology, they'll create a tsunami on purpose. And then after start, well, we're going to have to do a tsunami tax. We're going to have to implement a tsunami tax because they'll find ways to tax you. And that's what we've been telling you guys for years. They're going to find a way to implement another tax. That's all they have to do is just rename the tax. And this is what you need to know about BC wildfires in August. On August 10th. That's today's date, guys. What do we need to know about these fires? It's arson. Move along. And Carney's Liberals open a 13-point lead as Conservatives slide to a 31% in new poll. So this guy here, we told you guys, back in November 2022, a man named Mark Carney was coming to be your crime minister to protect Chinese communist interests in Canada. He was going to facilitate fake fentanyl busts. He's going to protect the $2.4 to $2.6 trillion in Chinese money in real estate and the farmland that America is going to be looking into that Chinese own in Canada, especially the farmland that borders the U.S. And the fentanyl. He's here to protect the fentanyl trade that's coming in from China and the precursor drugs and all the designer drugs and all the tainted street drugs. All the street drugs have been tainted now with this garbage Chinese fentanyl that's mixed in to the drugs, right? And yes, so Mark Carney, so they're bullshitting Canadians and saying that this guy's got the lead. This guy needs to be, like we told you before he even ran, this guy needs to run Canada to protect Chinese communist interests. This guy doesn't give a damn about Canadians. This guy doesn't give a damn if you eat or you're homeless. This man will offer you maid, okay? This guy does not care about you or he doesn't care about the Canadian family, the Canadian construct, the Canadian pillars of society. He just cares about protecting Chinese communist interests. And that's why this guy's been China this, China that, China this. Now, people are watching my older videos on this and saying, holy shit, this guy was right. Mike Martins was right. It's yeah. And I don't know if you guys remember, back in 2022, I made a video for you guys outside the hockey stadium or the hockey arena by my house. And I can't find that video anywhere. And in that video, I was telling you guys, they're going to send you out a weird census. They're going to send you out a census asking about sexual preferences, how many rooms you have in your house, how many empty rooms you have in your house, what are your kids doing, what did that... They'll ask you a bunch of questions. I can't find that video for the life of me. If you guys remember that video, let me know in the comments if you remember seeing that video. Back in 2022, I was outdoors, and I said, your census is coming, and it's going to be really scary shit they're going to be asking you. And it happened in the last 3 months, and I can't find the video anywhere. I can't find it for the life of me. I don't know where it is. I can't find it on YouTube. I can't find it on Rumble. I can't find it anywhere. Anyways, So that's not for Canada. They're making Canadians think that Canadians have a choice when they're telling them 13-point lead. What a total crock of bullshit. No one's going to vote either party. No one's coming to save you. It's all about protecting the Chinese communist interests. That's all it is all about in the end. And it always will be about that. And that's why Canada will never fix itself. They could deport all the Hindus, all the Muslims. They could deport everyone that doesn't want to be Canadian. But they'll never fix the Canadian problem because Canada will never touch the Chinese. They'll never touch the Chinese. They'll go after everyone. They went after the Portuguese in 2006, 7, and 8 and deported 50,000 families in the Toronto area and the GTA. You guys know what I'm talking about. So, but Canada will never touch the Chinese and will never fix this country because there's too much dirty money in this country. All right, someone's saying pay your fines. I heard they're going to fine us. Oh yeah, about the thing. Oof, it's kind of warm in here. Put on the jacket for you guys today. I had to take a sip of water here. I gotta wet my beak. Let me wet my beak here. All right, so that's that for Canada. Very disappointing. All right, let's go to this one. This is Dino Bravo's favorite section of the show here, the U.S. debt clock. So take a gander at the U.S. debt clock, ladies and gentlemen. $39 trillion, $845 billion, $181 million, 500,000. It's going too fast. I can't count. It's going too fast down here to break it down to yeah. Anyway, so there it is right there. And 39 trillion 845 billion. That's the national debt. It's more. It's higher when you get all. Once you take in the total interest rate, total debt. Once you start breaking down the all liabilities, and we covered this, and we're going to just play a small clip on that we talked about this. The reason why I'm bringing up this $39 trillion debt clock is because of this. This is our video here on our channel. We did live American Debt Clock live chat. So we're doing a live chat one night, and we're just chatting. I was in bed. This was going on, and I was just chatting away with you guys. This was back on... We streamed this back live on June 22nd, 2020. June 22nd, 2020. Okay, 2020. Now we're in August 2026. So 6 years, pretty much 6 years later, we were at 26 trillion to 39 trillion. Look at that. Wow. Wow. So there it is right there. And here's our little clip on this. I want to play it again because it's bang on. The United States is about to cross 39 trillion in national debt. 39 trillion, folks. Not in 10 years, not in projections, right now. That's over $115,000 per American. That's over $300,000 roughly per working household. And here's the part they don't want you to focus on. The U.S. now spends almost $1 trillion a year just on interest. Not healthcare, not roads, not defense. Interest. Servicing the debt. Before a single teacher gets paid, a soldier, before a single veteran even gets help, before a single bridge gets fixed. This is what debt saturation looks like, people. And 70 to 75% of the federal budget is on autopilot. Social Security, Medicare, defense, and servicing the debt. Congress could barely touch it. So every shutdown fight you see is complete theatrics. Because the real problem is structural. High debt, higher rates. Higher rates, higher interest. Higher interest, more borrowing. More borrowing, higher debt. That's what we call a debt spiral. Not a death spiral, a debt spiral. Now add this. Foreign countries still hold 7 to 8 trillion of U.S. debt. Japan, Britain, and China nearly has, 700 billion. If demand weakens, the Treasury must offer higher rates just to roll the debt. Kick the can down the road. Remember that? This is how empires don't collapse in one day. They collapse slowly through currency debasement, financial repression, inflation, taxes. Go study the fall of the Roman Empire. A generational theft is what it is. 39 trillion is not a headline. It's a warning light on a global financial system. And there's no political solution to fix it. Only inflate, devalue, or default quietly through inflation. That's the end game. On January 19, 2019, we made a video called U.S. Debt Clock Out of Control, China Selling U.S. Debt to Buy Gold, Fuel, Rent, Set to Skyrocket. In that video, we mentioned, what if China purposefully defaults on its debts to destroy Western society? Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Mike Martin's here. I have spoken. Oh, yeah. And that reminds me, they crash you, they destroy you, they bankrupt you, and then they take your kids to war. And that was something we were very vocal about on our previous, well, this YouTube, but the previous YouTube channel, we were on that one. And I think that the U.S. debt clock was at, I think at that time was at 21 trillion at that time when we did that. Yeah, it was around 21 or just broke 20 trillion. And we were warning you guys about that. And that's it. They take you to, they break you apart in every piece and they tax you to death. And look where we are now. Can't even afford to live in a one-bedroom anymore. Can't even afford to buy food. And look where we're at. And then it ties into that Fast and Furious 5 little thing, that little saying from Fast and Furious 5. When you dominate people with violence and they have nothing left to lose, what do? They fight back. And it's happening. And it's all starting to erupt. And that's why the world is going into chaos. All right. Someone's saying 170 trillion total. I'm just back on the comments here. I remember watching the debt clock in high school. Yeah, I remember. This was, again, on our previous YouTube channel because we got taken down in 2011. It was 2011 we got taken down. I still remember this. They actually had a U.S. debt clock somewhere in New York. Like a clock. Like it was a giant structure. It wasn't that big. It was big enough, but it had all the digital lights. It was all lit with digital lights. I still remember I still remember that clock. It was with sheet metal around it. It was really nicely made, and it was just there live. The debt clock was going live, and they took down the debt clock. I don't know why, but they took it down. That would have been a sight to see. Okay, if China's reliant on slave labor, they will probably move their workers to Africa. Africa's kicking all the Chinese people out. Africa doesn't want Chinese people. They're kicking them all out. Go to Angola, Portuguese Africa. The news clips are in Portuguese. They're speaking in Portuguese, but they don't want Chinese there. They don't want no China. They're racist. They don't want these people there. Get them out. They want the Chinese out of Africa. Period. And South Africa is kicking anyone out that isn't South African anymore too. Mozambique, with the natural gas, same thing. They don't want Chinese there. Get out. We played it on Mike in the Night a few months ago, showing you guys how the Chinese are not welcome in Africa either. All right, let's move on to this other little section here. This one's making headlines here. Nancy goes nuclear, says every Muslim in public office is a Trojan horse and threat to the public. I don't want to be blown up by a suicide bomber. And she's got a good point here, because Islam is, let's tie it to a former Islamic. Iranian Christian Sharia survivor goes berserk on McKinney City Council over proposed Islamic center. You're going to regret not listening to people like us who lived under Sharia law. And this guy goes on to talking, let's see if there it is right there.
Hello, my name is Eddie Issa. I'm a Sharia law survivor from Iran. And I'm here to tell you, this is a dangerous ideology you're allowing in their country. Every country that is Islamic now, it used to be a Christian country. And we were soft Christians, and we allowed these people to come in, bring their Sharia law into their countries, and slowly kill us off left and right. Let me make it very clear to you. Christianity is a personal relationship with God, where it says, render unto Caesar's what is Caesar's, render unto God what is God's. Islam is Sharia law, deen wa dawa, religion and state, which is not even compatible with the American thing. And when these people will use taqiyya to lie to you, to manipulate you, because whenever Islam is little, they will lie to you and tell you they come in peace. This is level 1. Level 2 is what's happening in UK right now, where you have...
Everything he's saying is in the Quran. If you go to, it's written in the Hafs Quran, because there's about 17, 18 different Qurans. In the Hafs Quran, this is what they're talking. He's talking about this is where they come in peace at first, and in that they explain like a manual how to take over a nation and its people, right?
A two-tier policing, where you have like the blasphemy laws, Islamophobia, racism, all this nonsense that they talk about. First of all, Islam is not a race. So anytime you criticize Islam, they will use the race card. But every country has this disgusting ideology inside their country, including my own country, Iran, Russia. Islamophobia is another made-up bullshit, because they don't want you to criticize their death cult. That's why they will put that. That's why they push it in UK. In every country they go to, M103 is in Canada right now. They deliberately try to silence us. And the worst people that are trapped in it is Muslims themselves, because they can't leave that death cult. Because they're told, if you question that disgusting book, you're called a kufar. And they get killed over it, just like my friends who are apostates in prison or dead right now in Iran. I'm telling you, this is a bad idea, and you're going to regret not listening to people like us who lived under Sharia law.
Thank you, Eddie.
So a very important message here, and we've been warning you guys about Islam too on this channel for years and years and years. We were going off the logical way of the modern day Arabic that they use in today's Quran, the Hafs that was chosen in 1918 in Egypt. So the Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Bismillah Rahmanir Rahim, all that stuff is all modern day Arabic. That call to prayer, that's modern day Arabic. That Arabic was finalized 400 to 600 years after the death of Muhammad. There's 17 to 22 different Qurans. We told you guys about this. And in 1918, they chose the Hafs. And they were told at the council, get all the old Qurans and just sink them in the ocean. That's what they said. You can look it up what I'm saying. They take all the other Qurans and sink them in the ocean, because they had different stories, different this. Some of them were more about Jesus. Some of them were anti-Jesus. Some of them were, but they chose the Hafs, right? And in their religion, they believe that the Queen of Sheba, Moses, everybody that's biblical, Mother Mary, they're all buried in Mecca. And Mecca wasn't founded until the year 1000. 1100, I don't even know. Mecca was not found by Abraham and his son. They believe that Abraham and his son went from the Turkey area or wherever he was in that area there in the mountainous northeast area and walked all the way to Mecca to build the Kaaba with the black stone for everyone to go kiss and pray and walk around. No, Abraham and his son didn't go build that. They went to the promised land, Israel. That, like the Bible and the Torah and everything says. That's what happened. They didn't go there to build, and they believe that these people are buried in Mecca, right? And yeah. So there's a lot of misconception. A lot of things don't add up with the religion, right? And that if you just look at the facts, it just doesn't add up. Nothing adds up in that religion, and yeah, and so Nancy goes nuclear, and there's also a lot of right here, Michelle Wu, no one likes you, another mayor in Boston that criticized and made fun of white people and had a Christmas party with no white people, this Chinese mayor of Boston. And this goes into this video I made. Mandatory 3-4 generations to run for any city level of government in Canada and the US. So listen to what I was telling people about. 3-4 generations mandatory. Watch this. Share this video if you think that anyone running for political office and even want to work in any government sector in North America need to be at least 3 to 4 generations Canadian or 3 to 4 generations American. Like, hear me out. If you want to run for government in Canada or the United States, then I think people better understand the soil they're standing on. And that's what's happening here. They're not understanding. I'm not talking about race. I'm not talking about last names. I'm talking about generational roots. If you're going to sit in Parliament in Ottawa or Congress in Washington, you should deeply understand the culture, the history, the sacrifices, the wars, the recessions, the civil rights battles, the constitutional fights that actually shaped this land. 3 or 4 generations, in my opinion, means your grandparents paid taxes here. Your great-grandparents built roads here. They fought wars for this country. Your family went through the 80s recession, the 2008 crash, the inflation waves, the cultural shifts. You lived in the educated system. You lived in the healthcare system. You felt the policies. Government isn't a landing pad for political tourism. Okay? Canada and the U.S. are constitutional nations, right? In America, the representatives swear to uphold the Constitution. In Canada, the MPs swear allegiance under the Constitution Act and the Crown, or whatever that framework is called. These systems evolved over centuries. If you don't understand their cultural DNA, the federalism, provincial rights, state rights, the Charter of Bill of Rights, you can't protect them. When people say they want leaders with multi-generational ties, what we're saying is we want decision makers who are culturally anchored, economically invested, historically aware, people who see the long-term consequences because their grandchildren will live here too. Take me, for instance. I'm a Portuguese, but I live in Canada. I have no business going into politics or any government jobs here. But my dad built the roads and a lot of government infrastructure in this country too. Let me know what you guys think. 3 to 4 generations, minimum, to do anything in this country, politically, or work for the government. Mike Martin's here. I have spoken. Yeah, and that was just my thing. But Eduardo saying in the sorry, Mike, Trudeau, Chrétien, Harper, Mulrooney, all multi-generation and screwed us. Well, yes, they did. But they're Canadian. It's Canadian people doing it, the Canadians. When you got some third worlder that just arrived, or it's been here 10, 15 years, was a bartender, and then now is, you know what I'm saying? The ideologies that stuck with these people from different countries got brought forth to here. You know, that's all I'm saying, man. And we're going down a very dangerous path, just like that gentleman said in that video there. Very dangerous path here in the West. All right, what else we got here? Okay, we got a bit of EU. Let's go into the EU for a little bit here. German teacher says a school with 75% migrant background students is plagued with violence, drugs, and even prostitution in toilets. A special education teacher says police are called to her school several times a week. Nearly 40% of pupils fail to obtain a school leaving certificates this year, and staff are increasingly being threatened or assaulted. That's in Germany. And record 230 illegal migrants crossed the channel in one dinghy as Birmingham government issues another stern warning. So more and more of these people. Why are these people coming over if they hate us? Why are these people here? Why are they coming over if they're not going to assimilate? What are they escaping from? What are they leaving from that's so horrendously bad that they're going to come and destroy another nation? There it is. Mega dinghy carrying a record number of illegal migrants. Let's see if there's the picture right there. Right? Where do they get all these life jackets? These are all brand new life jackets. Where do they get all these life jackets from? Poland's conservatives propose deporting unemployed Ukrainian men of military age. Goodbye. The opposition party says Ukrainians who are not legally employed should return home, arguing that their removal would also help Kiev address its shortage of soldiers. Yeah, good job. I love Poland. Yeah. Good job, Poland. Yep, good job, Poland. Italy's daft AI decree lets police take the biometric of everyone at protests. The government defense is that collection and recognition are 2 different stages and 7 days apart. So they're working on recording everybody and biometrically putting them into an index or a file of everybody at protests. And Italy, Egyptian migrant who beat and robbed an 86-year-old victim committed nearly 20 robberies targeting the elderly since 2023. The Egyptian has been a non-stop crime spree against elderly Italian victims since 2023. Imagine your grandpa, your uncle, father's brother. Imagine. Get beat up by some piece of shit from Egypt. What is he even doing in Italy? I don't understand what these people are doing in Italy. I don't even know what they're doing in Portugal, Spain, France. What are these people doing there? I don't understand. What does it have to get to so people could take their countries back, right? What will it have to get to people to, for people to get their countries back? Spain, mass migrant invasion, 5 girls under 14 reportedly raped in Ceuta. So, and an underage boy was also reportedly raped at the time when the Ceuta medical system, Ceuta, was completely overwhelmed. So, yeah. Why anyways, I'm just totally fed up with this shit, and a lot of people are just gonna, like we said, America will take America back. I'm not worried about America. Americans will take America back. Mark my words. Americans will take it back. Right? I believe that Europe will take Europe back 100%. Canada, I don't know. I don't want to be negative. I don't want to sound hateful. I just don't think Canada stands a chance. I just don't think they do. Australia too. I'm not just picking on Canada. Australia, New Zealand, and Canada, and the UK. Well, the UK will take itself back 100%. But I just think Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, I don't think they could do it. I think we've already lost. I think we lost, guys. And that was a mic of the night. I think it was 6:33 or 6:32, where I had that monologue where I basically said, I think we lost, guys. I really think Canada's lost. I think we did. Eduardo saying 80% of the Ceuta invaders returned the following day, Mike. Yeah, okay. You know why? Because there was no food. No one was feeding them. They had no food. They got hungry, and they went home. That's it. Once you cut the benefits from these people, they're gone. They'll leave. They'll leave the country. They're not going to stay in the country if they're not getting benefits, right? And 95% of them don't qualify for employment. Their IQs are just too low to work somewhere, in a basic fast food setting. A lot of them, they don't qualify. Yeah. Guys, don't forget to share this, guys. Don't forget to share this, guys. Share this, get this out there. All right, let's go over to let's head over to As the World Burns. No, it's actually called, what do we call this now? Blackout Media. Stay safe, Genoa, Italy. This was the other day. 30 people and some wearing helmets and carrying metal bars involved in a clash in the Genoa Historic Center. So there it is. 30 masked men armed with bars and sticks clash in Genoa's Historic Center. And this is happening in Italy. Let's keep going. A 7.4 magnitude earthquake strikes Colombia. In Colombia, we got lots of footage on Colombia here tonight. And damage this church here. And then we got a 7.4 magnitude earthquake striking Colombia. So that's the outside that church. You could see it was filmed outside the church. And this is when the ground was shaking. And people were scared. Look at those telephone wires. Look at that. Look at everything just kind of moving around. There goes the steeple of the church. There goes all the look at the wiring. Holy smokes. And garbage seen left all over Wasaga Beach. Now, Wasaga Beach, I used to go there when I was a kid. My parents took me there. It used to be a really beautiful beach in Ontario, Lake Ontario. It was a very, very beautiful beach. It was a very nice place to go to when I was a child. And we went there. Last time I was there was when I was a teenager. And I think there was a car show there. There was a lot of beautiful cars. But now it's turned into a dumpster. It's turned into a complete dumpster. And 3 to 5 years, all catering jobs will be automated with robots. There you are, folks. Robots. And we got videos on this on our channel. We did a lot of prediction videos on this years ago, like 15 years ago. Here it is, folks. I don't know how good the food would taste, but, you know. And Spain, where over 20% of the population is now foreign, and the benefits of multicultural society doesn't seem to be showing for the natives. So there it is right there. There's Spain. It's been happening for years across Europe, where this migration pact that was signed by multiple governments around... Justin Trudeau signed the UN Migration Pact in November 2018. Watch our Mike in the Night. November 2018 is up. Mike in the Night, where Justin Trudeau signs the UN Migration Pact and basically destroys Canada. And this is scary. I've been following these toys, these women toys. You can't make this up. Look at these robots. Wow. Look at these robots. This stuff is nuts, guys. And thousands gather for Aberdeen March in Marble Arch in London. Crowd size grows every year. And the country's being completely taken over. And it's really sad what's happened. Why can't England be England? Why can't Ireland just be Ireland? I want to go to Ireland and see the Irish culture. I want to go there and drink at a pub. I want to share stories with local Irishmen. What is this? Like, why are they allowing this stuff to happen? Why? Again, it's a takeover. You're going to tell me it's a Kalergi plan. You're going to tell me it's all kinds of stuff. And it's absolutely heartbreaking to see culture takeover. And then 7.4, there's the earthquake in Colombia. We told you we got more footage on this. And this is it's not the nightclub district area. It's the I call it the quick food district area. Quick food area here. Not fast food. It's fast food junk. It's homemade food, but out of more of a fast food approach. And they shot a humanoid robot with a 20mm cannon, and it didn't go down. Yeah. Look at that, folks. There's nothing humans could do against that. If we're up against that and this thing is trained and this thing is programmed with heat-seeking technology to find out who and where, we're in trouble. And AutoZone. Okay. Why is AutoZone boarding up? Let me see if I got them back to back. AutoZone is boarding up and closing its location. Right here. AutoZone looted during street takeover in East Los Angeles. Now, there's no AutoZone there and nowhere to pick up your car parts. And guess what happens? Guess what happens when that happens? You got to drive further away. You got to drive further away to buy car parts. Then everyone in the area start complaining like, whoa, we can't buy parts in our hood. We can't get parts in our hood. We can't get this. We can't get that. The white man is destroying us, or they'll say the economy is destroying us. They'll find a reason they'll find someone to blame about this, right? They usually blame the white man because they'll blame the white man because the corporate greed. But when you're getting robbed like this, you're gonna board it up. It's game over. You're done. You're done. You take that loss, write it off, and let people figure it out later. And look at this. On the Zhaoshan coast. Look at that ship. I thought that was fake. I actually thought that was AI. But yeah, there it is right there. It's a typical Chinese warranty. 8 kilometers or 8 minutes. There you go. Yep. And French authorities arrested 420 people, including 166 minors, accused of deliberately starting fires. This was the country's worst wildfire season since World War II. There you are. And it's all arsonists. We've been telling you it's arson season. And who's doing it in Europe? It's the migrants. Migrants. It's all migrants. And now they're tearing down bridges in Nigeria for scrap iron. So they're destroying the pillars and ripping out the rebarb for scrap iron. So when the white man went there to build that infrastructure, you know, they are now taking that all apart to try and strip the iron, the rebarb out of the bridge. So if you guys down in Detroit or wherever where they're stripping for copper, try stripping for iron. Try stripping from iron off a bridge. Wow. And Spanish couple went on vacation, and when they returned to their home, it was full of African squatters, and the criminals beat the pregnant woman and her husband. So.
Y cuando fueron a un contenedor que les llamó un vecino, que estaban todas las fotos de la familia allí, les dieron una paliza de...
Wow. Wow. That's really heartbreaking. She's got a black eye, too. Yeah. And this is... I added this to tonight's videos because when this was built, the engineers that built that and organized that and built that are no longer operating the systems no more and repairing the systems and maintaining the systems. Guess what happens? Boom. You're dead. And ships preparing to pass through pirate area. Yep. But don't, you know what? They don't have to. They don't have to worry because a lot of them pirates they're protecting themselves from are already in Canada. Don't worry. A lot of them pirates that are coming for you guys are already living in Canada. Oops. Oh, wow. Did they take down... Oh, wow. Did they take down a video off me? No, don't take this one down. I got to show you guys. They took down the ice wall one. They took down the ice wall. I wanted to show you guys that gigantic ice wall in Antarctica that they filmed. They took it down. Damn it. It had 290,000 likes and 6,000 comments. Damn, they took it down. Okay, series of earthquakes shook Earth in the last 24 hours. So... there's the Ring of Fire, but we got lots of earthquakes. We got a big one in Spain there. Was that... Sorry, the California there, and then we got one there, like, in Chicago area there. Lots of earthquakes. And in Campi Flegrei, Italia, that's the 4.7 earthquake there. And then we got, damn, why are they taking down these videos? There's the ice wall. Look, they took, there, this one's working. There we go. So when the Portuguese were going around the globe, they were already mapping a lot of this, and they've in their journals, they were in the 1500s in their journals, they were already discussing this ice wall here in the Antarctic area. That's crazy, guys. That's crazy. And then watch this. There's parts of it where there's water flowing. I think it was the other video that they took down. Yeah, that goes forever. See over here, there's like water coming through it. Like water, like cascading through it. And here we go. Somebody playing with rocks. And this is another, this was the other day. Oh, this is in Iceland. This happens all the time in Iceland and in Greenland too. You could say goodbye to that newly paved road. And locals use branches and boots to stomp out wildfires. And this is more volcanic activity that's happening. That's a pretty good shot right there. And what is this video? El peligro de la carta volcán de fuego. Las redes sociales. Muestra los. It's not telling me where this is. Oh, Guatemala. Yeah, it says here in Guatemala. Yeah, in Guatemala. That's what's happening right now in Guatemala. And look what those coals do if they hit you. It burned right through the guy's jacket. Yeah, you might not. Look at that. Right through one little coal. Look at that. One little coal burnt right through the jacket. And teen in clown costume charged in killing of retired bus driver. I don't know what to say, folks. I'm sorry. This was in East St. Louis. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't. I'm just lost for words. And lava en las calles de España? What? Volcanic system in urban areas, molten rock slowly powerfully. Yeah. In De La Palma, España. That's crazy, folks. And Typhoon Dolphin hits Shanghai. So China's drowning. Yep. So much for the modified sewering and system. Advanced engineering. Yeah. Look at that manhole cover. Going the wrong way. They got to be in a boat. There's no way they're in a car. Because Chinese don't drive they don't drive big pickup trucks like they do in the States. They have some little fugazi little pickup trucks, but they don't have like big mean, GMCs and Fords there in China. They drive a lot of those little fugazi ones there. Yeah. Yeah, good luck with that. So there's Shanghai for you folks there. And Surat, Gujarat, India. All right, flooding. I don't even know why people will even go out in that situation. I wouldn't even go out. I wouldn't even leave the door. So security guard fires a taser point blank into man's face at Carlsbad watch party and then arrested. Yeah. They don't even call... Apparently, they never even called an ambulance for the guy or anything. I don't understand. It's... You guys, you got to watch yourselves out. Every man for himself. Take care of yourself. Protect yourself. No one's coming to save you anywhere. And this is another explosive eruption. 2,200 meters above sea level. This one is from ashes falling all over. Level 3 alert. Volcanic alert is happening right now. Oh, this looks like it's in Japan. Sakurajima volcano in the Japanese island of Kaishuo. Look at that. And this is in China. China. Shanghai is underwater. Look at that. Man finds something crawling under donuts at a Tim Hortons restaurant. You might not want to kill that because that might be part of someone's religion. Watch out. And Typhoon Dolphin hits East Asia. Look at that. 500,000 residents moved. Winds up to 162 kilometers an hour hit Taiwan, China, and Japan. That's nuts. French authorities arrested 420 people, including 160... we got this already for the... I want to make sure I got that one in. And Glendale Heights, Illinois, we covered this already, but it's another from quiet America suburb to open-air Islamic parade ground. Yep. Yep. It's crazy. The takeover is just so blatant. Church fire in Montreal. Someone tells me this was from last year. Someone said this says it was the other day. But, yeah, that's weird because it was telling me it was the other day. But doesn't matter. It's still a church. It's burning. And terrifying. Watch this.
Is only possible if we remove the three poisons of desire, hatred, and ignorance from our daily lives. We need not accept suffering as unchangeable. We need not treat hatred as the natural state. We have the power to set ourselves free. And I consider my own faith, Islam, a religion built upon a narrative of migration. The story of the Hijrah reminds us that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a stranger too, who fled Mecca and was welcomed in Medina. Surah An-Nahl 1642 tells us, as for those who immigrated in the cause of Allah after being persecuted.
Like the other guy said in the other video we played, they come in peace at first, and then it gets crazy.
He wasallam said, Islam began as something strange and will go back to being.
Go back to 3-generation American to run for office or work for the government, period. 3-generation Americans. That's how it works. This is our country now. UK flag burned and urinated on. So they are burning a UK flag. There's the Union Jack getting burned on its own soil by domestic enemies that they let in. And they're urinating on him. Domestic enemies. And this is the I'm gonna fight the whole bar guy. I had to bring on something a little bit more funnier, but something more interesting or entertaining. But this is the I'm gonna fight everyone in the bar guy. Let's put it back here. I'm gonna fight everyone in the bar. There he is. And 3-mile-long Palestinian car rally. So Palestinians in America and the Indians are against the Palestinians. You're going to start to see the civil war we've been talking about. We've been talking about the civil war coming on against these other cultures that divide themselves between borders. See, Pakistan, Somalia, India, China, all these countries have borders, and they protect those borders from these people coming in and mixing in. And the Chinese have a border with India so they don't screw around and kill each other. Pakistan has a border so they don't screw around and kill each other. Canada, America, Australia, New Zealand, the UK, wide open. Wide open. And intense winds here. I don't know. Where's this? This looks like it's in the States somewhere. And this is Manchester. I don't know why this well, it's not Manchester. It's Mohammedan. It's the people of the country make the country. If the people of the country are this, it just becomes an Islamic country now. That's what happens. The country makes up the people in the country. We've been saying this for 15 years. Mexico is Mexican because the people that live in Mexico are Mexican. That's why Mexico is Mexico. If the people in Manchester are this region of the country becomes an Islamic autonomous region. They bring in their own governments. They bring in who they want, right? And in China, a man drops cash on the floor and waits for the waiter to pick it up in Guangdong, China. That's how Chinese people are just really, they hate everybody. They hate each other. They're programmed to hate everything and everybody. They pretend to be your friend, and then they're just throwing money on the floor for the waiter. See? Treating people like trash. It's like, who the hell are these people? You're eating at a plastic table in China, surrounded by scooters and dog feces on the floor. Who the hell do you think you are throwing your money on the floor to that guy? Free souvenirs. Crowds steal plants at airport. So there's a new airport in India, and they're going around all the plants and flowers that they planted in the ground are all being taken away by the people. They're just ripping it apart. A parade, fights erupt at a parade. This is in the United States here. This is Chicago's. The Bud Blinken parade. Just fighting on the streets. And 2014 footage of Ukrainian MP thrown into the dumpster. Yeah, we already played this. Played this for you guys years ago. Florida bans Sharia law. Now make it federal. Make it federal. Do you support this? Yes. Ban Sharia law in every Western country. And India sparks outrage. Indian sparks outrage after dodging a $1.50 taxi fare. It's like, I don't got money.
Thank you.
Sparking outrage online. Netizens were furious.
Yeah. Careful, that guy could have been Canadian there. That could have been a Canadian. Be careful. And in province in East China, fraudsters were caught. China raided telecom fraud operations on August 6th, apprehending more than 20 suspects. They're targeting older people for money. Made fake calls and fake buying stocks and all kinds of investments. And they were caught. Too bad they don't do this in Canada to all those Indian fraud centers we have here. It's too bad. So they're confiscating someone's food cart in China. This is really sad. I was really saddened to see this. They're taking this person's food cart away, their way of life, their only way to feed, like the only way to get ahead in life, the only way to maintain a life. They're just taking it away from them. And look, they're trashing the food. Look. What the hell, man? Man, that's really heartbreaking to see. And international students continue Calgary work permit protest despite major storm. So I hope the taxpayers aren't funding this, man. I really hope not. You're a student, you come learn, you go home. That's it. You're a student, you're learning, you come home, right? That's it. You go home. You learn something. Go make India great again. Go make another country great again. And female employee being attacked by a guy finally broke up with a male employee. Wow. 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 This is crazy, man. This is crazy. A guy with red hair, too. So she destroyed my stuff because I didn't tip. I guess she checked the phone to see that that she didn't get a tip or whatever for picking up her stuff or whatever. And then I think she takes it and dumps it or something. You get a tip. Yeah, see what she does? Yep. And not cool. This is literally my grandma's car, and they started doing this because she forgot to put her blinker when she was driving home. So imagine your grandma's driving home on a night out with the family. You're having not a night out, a dinner at the family house. She gets in her car, and a bunch of hoodlums, just lowlives, do this to her. And this one, defending your sister, then facing criminal charges. So boom, this I think it was a guy or a lady smashed. Boom, the guy comes in and see what happened to his sister and just beats the shit out of her. And then now they're filing criminal charges against the guy defending his sister. So they're suing for. Didn't that happen when that black guy was breaking the bank machine and electronically? He broke into the front end of it. Then he ended up getting electrocuted, and then the mom ended up suing the bank because his son was electrocuted by the bank machine. So black woman beats blue-haired white woman. Violence is crazy. And another church burns. Nearly 100 churches burned in Canada in the last couple of years. And there's the futuristic China country again. All right, we're going into replay stuff now. Anyways. So there it is, the blackout media. All right, guys. Let's get into a quick channel plug, and we'll open the lines here if you guys want to support this transmission. All right, guys, if you want to buy your boy a coffee, here it is right here. If you want to buy me a coffee, I'll put a link in the description. I really appreciate it very, very much. And then, guys, YouTube, you got some episodes here of Mike in the Night. Don't forget to check out our travels to Portugal. Don't forget to check out Philippine Adventures. Don't forget to check out the $7,000 home we built in the Philippines. Don't forget to check out my first, one of my more original shops from when I first moved to Merritt. Don't forget to check out our conspiracy vault here. Okay? Don't forget to check all this stuff out, guys. I put a lot of effort and hard work into this for you guys. And if you want more episodes of Mike in the Night, people keep asking, you can go here and you can watch episodes from 5, 6, 7, whatever years ago. Most of them I'm getting put up here slowly. And Facebook is ticking along nicely if you guys want to follow us on there. And Instagram is where you call into the show if you want to call in. Just go ahead and message me on my Instagram. It's at Real Mike Martins. And yes, we are still down on TikTok. No one panic. They took us down for the 4th time. And we are on X. If you want to come, I'm back on X again. I got an email allowing me to come back on X after Elon suspended me. Or kicked me off, basically. Permanently terminated my channel. Alrighty. Where was it? Let's see if we got any. Oh, PDS10 bought me a coffee. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, I knew I was going to get a coffee today. And BG. BG bought me a coffee. Thanks, guys. I usually get 2 coffees, 3 coffees. Nothing major. You could always join the YouTube channel for $1.49 a month if you want to support the transmission. I would appreciate it. Mike, do you believe in 6G or better has been developed? I feel like they know when I go to the bathroom. Oh yeah, they know a lot, guys. They know a lot. Someone saying that 6G is already here, not released to the public yet. Yeah, no. Yeah, Diablo, you're right. It's 132 churches been torched. No, it's more. It's actually 150, 155 now. There's a lot of churches that have been torched that haven't been reported, like openly reported. There's a lot more churches. It wouldn't surprise me if 300 churches have burnt down in the last couple of years in Canada alone. I gotta wet my beak here. Is weather modification part of these catastrophes? Perhaps. Go back to our Mike in the Night's weather warfare. Weather war? War on the weather? Weather war? Old Mike in the Night, episode 400 and something. Go back to it. We did a big thing on weather modification and weather wars, Operation Popeye, all that stuff. Woo! All right, who else is here tonight? Come on. Who else is here tonight for Mike in the Night? All right, let's see if I get any, if I have any messages here from anybody that wants to come on Mike in the Night tonight. Let me see if there's no one messaging me. Hidden requests, anybody? Yeah, I remember those speaking out on Art Bell in the 90s. Yeah. Yeah, I remember you speaking out about this in Art Bell in the 90s. I wasn't around on social media. Well, social media wasn't a thing in the 90s, right? All right, who's out there, folks? Come on, give me a message. I know Supreme Cannon's there. We're going to get him on. Let's get Supreme Cannon on first to warm up the show. And then maybe we could motivate some people to call into the show. I'm getting a lot of people telling me they're scared to come on. A lot. A lot of people are scared to come on the show. And then other content creators don't take me seriously. So a lot of content creators don't take me serious. So I don't get... it's hard for me to get... content creators, other channels on, they don't want to deal with me, or they don't want to come on the show. They think it's like lowbrow or crap. So yeah. Anyways. Let's get into, let me see, what do we got? Country. Play everyone's favorite song tonight on Mike in the Night. All right. Let me line up our next caller. You are tuned in to Mike in the Night, the voice of the Commonwealth.
It's 3 a.m. in a one-stop town. Neon buzz and the world shut down. Coffee's cold, but the mic's still warm. There's a storm outside and another reform. Headlights roll down Highway 8. Folks still talking about the state of the state. Bills go up, paychecks thin. Feels like a house always wins. But there's a voice on the air tonight, cutting through that pale moonlight. Mike in the Night, on the AM line. Truth coming through like a county sign. You can run, you can hide, you can close your eyes. Woo! Let you feel that moving deep inside. saying I have spoken. Small town farmers, city trees, trying to read through the masquerades. Paper headlines, polished lies, but you can see it in the people's eyes. Granddad said, son, stand tall, don't let fear build your walls. Mama prayed by the kitchen light, said keep your heart strong through the fight. So he turns that dial a little more, like knocking on a closed back door. Like in the night, on the AM line, the truth coming through like a warning sign. You can feel it shift when the clock strikes 3, like something's waking inside of me. At 3 a.m. when static spoken.
Hello?
School fire.
Supreme, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Oh, groovy. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Welcome to Mike in the Night.
It's lovely to be here. Hello, posse.
Well, thanks for being here. Okay, bro. I've been sitting through most of the show. What's going on? What do you see happening? This Islam takeover is getting serious, and it's very dangerous. They're playing. I think governments are really playing with fire, letting this in. It's really dangerous.
Oh God, yeah, no, I don't know. There might have been a purpose to it at one time. I think it's a certain amount of desperation. Obviously, there's a lot of blackmail. We obviously have a lot of traitors in our governments to let all this happen. But no, I think there's compromat. I think there's a lot of things that are forcing it. I mean, look at the body snatchers that seem to have taken over Trump.
Yeah,
like he's just not. There's nothing rational about what he's. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say there isn't anything rational. If you're as pinned in as he is, obviously in that job, like every U.S. president has been since Kennedy. Let's be real. And you got to try to keep markets propped up while everything is obviously falling apart around you. It's probably going to look like this. I inclined to think some of it is just blink twice if you're under duress or something like that. I don't know.
Supreme, someone sent
it's weird. It's just weird.
Someone sent me a video of 2022 video. I think a 2022 video, and then in that video I was specifically stating, if Trump is allowed to get in and allowed to be, because if he doesn't get in, you're going to see civil unrest on the streets. But if he's allowed to be selected or elected to be in presidency, he's going to follow a very specific game plan, and it's not going to be him anymore. And that's someone sent me that video, and I'm like, holy shit, I said that? It's like, yeah you did, Mike. Yeah. If he gets in,
that's sure, for sure, and it's not, that's not wrong. Yeah, Something very bizarre is happening here. This is what I don't understand. Like, most of the issues that this guy ran on in both elections were majority, like across the board. Like they were 60-40, 30-70, some of them 80-20 issues. Like you would think people that just wanted to be elected forever would just do that stuff and screw everything else up, right? But they just won't do it. They just got to get back to war. I don't know. I think this Iran thing is desperation anyway. I mean, you know what happened in 2019, 2020, right? Like things were collapsing. We
were here. Right now, the world was in protest. No confidence in government.
Absolutely. Where we were then, just like we are now. 7 years ago, the same thing was happening. It's just kicking the can down the road, trying to buy time and all that stuff, right?
Forget the can down the road. We're kicking it to the next neighborhood, brother.
Yeah, we're in a cul-de-sac now. I don't think there's anywhere to run anymore.
Yeah.
Because you've got other powers in the world. I mean, you think of 2008 or 2000, right? Like, like Russia was flat on its back in 2000. And China was definitely building up, but it wasn't the power it is now 20 years ago, right? I mean, China had enough money. They could buy $500 billion worth of U.S. treasuries to keep the world from collapsing. Well, they're definitely not stepping in to do that now.
No, they've been secretly selling off their treasuries since 2016.
Yeah, they have.
And buying gold.
And you've seen what happened with Japan, like trying to rescue the yen. Japan needs to sell U.S. treasuries, and the U.S. says, no, wait a minute, we're going to dump a bunch of euros, and we'll buy yen to keep you propped up, right? Like it's just retardville. and everyone sees it. Like I see, he's a Kremlin or Duma advisor, Kirill Dmitriev, and he's on Twitter all the time, and he's been describing precisely the mechanism of what's happening right now too. The point is, everyone in the world sees this happening. They know what's going on, and now the U.S. has gotten a bloody nose by Iran, and this thing is, I mean, it's deadlocked right now. Yeah, Iran is hurting, but they're probably not going to.
That goes back to my 2016 video. Will America win its next war? That was in 2016. I was asking that because they were already spread thin. They were spread thin like the thinnest watery down pancake you could imagine, buddy.
Oh, they are, absolutely. Well, look, I mean, they got $1 trillion a year defense budget, but where's the money going? Well, it's obviously not going into equipment or ammunition. It's all graft. You know, it's just a total waste. That's the thing. I mean, you got people that spent 30 years after the Cold War where they could just print money to paper over everything and take anything they wanted and whatever else, and they point that printer around like it's some kind of gun. And it's like, well, yeah, it's not working anymore, guys. That's the thing. When I see these invasions happening in Europe and happening in Canada and in America and everywhere else for that matter, it's like, we're going to run out of money. Like, your interest rates are going to go up too high. Like, you're just not going to be able to print like they did in the past. And what happens then?
You know what, Supreme?
You run out of money, most of these people are going to leave because that's what they're here for.
But Supreme, let me tell you something.
Uh-huh.
I think we're going to run out of culture before we run out of money.
I don't think so, Mike. I respectfully, I think that culture is actually artificially suppressed in most of the Western world. I think there's a lot of, especially younger people, that they kind of like the culture, and they feel like you do about Portugal, or I do about, well, and as we both feel about Canada. There's a lot of people here that know the history of this place,
but we're losing them.
You know, well, we're being suppressed right now. We've got to, we've been pinned like we're on the mat, right? But
we are public enemy number one. That's the problem.
Yeah, we're public enemy number one to the governments, but. We've got these Westphalian nation states where the state part has been trying to erase the nation part, like I've said, right? You could take the government of Belgium and the government of Canada and the government of Finland and shuffle them around. And other than maybe the language barrier, they're the exact same people, even though the nations are all different, right? So they're all in on that. But the problem is it's kind of a house of cards, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you've seen Spaniards out on the street, right? You've seen Frenchmen out on the street. You've seen English and the Irish on the street. You definitely see the Poles and Hungarians, right? I mean, it's a standoff because the cops are waiting to arrest them for trying to protect themselves and their communities. But they're showing them that, yeah, we're here and we see what you're doing. We're looking right at you. The trucker thing, I mean, I'll stand by it. This trucker thing in 2022 scared the living shit out of the people in Ottawa.
It did.
They were not expecting that.
Emergencies Act.
And they absolutely, well, yeah, like that was panic, man. That was absolutely panic. I mean, that's why they're trying to crack down. But look how long it's taken them just to try to pass some laws. And the thing is that it was a standard. It was a standard, I forget the proverb, but it was something like a monarch has to be careful about the laws he passes because he might reach a point where people will stop obeying him. And I think they're sensing that we're getting there, where if they pass just one more goddamn law, pass one more freaking tax, pardon the vernacular, people are going to lose their shit. And a lot of them, frankly, are just out of touch. I mean, in Canada, we've got these Laurentian elites who are not excellent people. You could say what you want about Russia or China, places like that. Yes, they're in many ways autocracies, but they're actually trying to make their people's lives better in some way.
Right.
Relatively speaking, that's a concern for them. It's not here.
No.
This is the magic of democracy because you can do all kinds of things and hide behind, quote unquote, the people's will, even though the majority of people haven't voted for any of these people.
I got an email from someone the other day, a short email, just two sentences, just basically saying, yeah, Mike, I was in rural Ontario. I stopped in a bank. I walked in. Everyone in there was of Chinese nationality working there. No one spoke barely any English. I walked out, and you were right. Canadians begging for money. It makes no sense. And now people are waking up to what I'm saying. It's like, they keep saying certain cultures are good for us. There's no cultures that are good for us in Canada. The Europeans that built the country are good for us because they built and they maintained and they sacrificed. They brought their families. They came here with nothing and they worked themselves and bought what they could and did what they could. There's no other culture that's going to come here that's good for us. No Chinese are good for us. The Arabs. There's no one that's going to come in here that's going to be good for us. Okay? Because all they're going to do is just destroy what we built. And I'm not mad at you, by the way. I'm just
no. I understand. I feel rather passionate about it too. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It ceases to be Canada, and then what? Well, then it just becomes a frozen shithole.
Yeah.
The reason they come here is okay. Well, there's free money and white women, right?
Mm-hmm.
The white women don't want them for the most part, and the free money, well, that's going to dry up. Because they're borrowing it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're not printing it; they have to borrow it, right? And someone has to, someone has to buy that bond. And interest rates are going up and everyone's hopelessly in debt. The pips are squeaking on these people right now. Like they're in trouble and they know it.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad. It's bad. It's horrible for us, of course, because we're living at street level. But the reason you see all of these like convenience stores, like Celeste out on the North Shoe Swap, pardon me, guys. There's some chain convenience store called Fetch Panda that I'd never heard of until like 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's at least 2 of them in my area. Yeah, the one out Solista, like out in the middle of nowhere, guys in turbans are running it. So how are they doing that? Well, I don't know how they do it in Canada, but in the States, the Small Business Administration will give new arrivals like $200,000 or $300,000 business loan.
Yeah.
So they just go and scoop up all these motels and all these truck stops and stuff like that, and Tim Hortons and the rest of it.
And the Canadian proper that studied and fought for this country and built this country are outside begging for money.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and all these students that are you're supposed to be going home. Yeah, like you just showed on there. They're under a tent in the middle of torrential rain.
I hope we're not paying for that shit.
Well, of course we are. They're not here on their dime, man. They didn't have any money. They didn't fly here with their own arms. Like India, you can't just get in a canoe and get here, right? Like somebody flew them here. Somebody stamped the papers for them to come here.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know.
All these engineers and doctors too coming here.
Yes, and architects and stuff like that. Yes.
Did you see all the fake degrees and stuff they were bringing in? They got caught with 1.2 million fake degrees that were printed off in the last 2 years.
Oh yeah, no, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's just retarded. Yeah, oh yeah, they're bringing them over here because they're skilled. Yeah, no, they're not. They're really not. And anyway, if it was the ones that were going to university, that's one group. But all the ones wandering around the street or running the truck stops and stuff like that, yeah, they weren't needed. They absolutely weren't, especially when youth unemployment in Canada is 16%. No, they don't need to be here. This is ridiculous. Like, we see what they're doing. This is the thing, that the idea of something like the Kalergi plan is just going to slowly happen over time and we'll simply be absorbed into it. Well, they're not doing that. They're literally trying to jam it all down our throat with a plunger. And it's like, no, there's a bit of a gag reflex in our society yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to happen that way. And it's not going to transform the country. It's going to fracture it.
Big time.
There's going to be certain parts of the country where they'll pull the strings or the levers or push the buttons and nothing will happen because people will just say, yeah, we're looking right at you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
That's okay.
And it's happening. It's already happening. Like it's imploding. Like if they could do this plus maintain law and order and some kind of balanced budget, then you might say, okay, this is kind of some kind of clever technocratic maneuver. These people are morons. They can't run a stick up a dead dog's butt. They don't care. They leave Ottawa on the weekend to go, get high, get off, and get out of town.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about anything. They're clowns. We're being run into the ground by clowns. Now, maybe there were brilliant people 50 or 100 years ago that came up with these plans. They're all dead now.
Mm-hmm.
This is their drug-addled, great-grandchildren doing all this. It's all trust fund babies, and they're not smart people, and they're obviously incredibly corrupt. And it's just going to reach a point where someone is going to say, okay, this particular province, this particular municipality or whatever, yeah, we're not doing this.
You know, can I tell you one thing that's been upsetting me as of lately, and I'm watching some of the protests happening in Canada.
Sure.
I've been noticing protests, and I've been noticing the signage on these protests. So I think there was a Canada First march, and I caught a video of a guy with a sign saying, "We support Palestine. We don't support Israel," and blah blah blah. It's supposed to be a Canada First rally. When I see propaganda garbage like that has nothing to do with Canada, it pisses me right off, Supreme, because now it just ruins the authenticity of that whole march. It means nothing. It bothers me, man.
Keep in mind that a lot of people will see a parade and then they'll just join it with whatever they have. You know, it's not necessarily that's what the parade was about. It's just someone decided.
But that was the first thing I saw when I first saw images of the parade.
Absolutely, yeah,
and that pissed me right off.
Too, for sure, yeah.
You know, Canada should have no business in what's happening anywhere in the world but itself, because the country is in such disparity that it needs to forget what's happening around the world and start focusing on its own people first. But no, they just want to replace us.
I have noticed that Carney is starting to speak, well, at least it sounds like, more pragmatically. Like, it seems like with the obsession with these data centers, like the whole global warming thing seems to be disappearing a little bit. You know, I mean, these people have been brainwashed for so long that, you know, the guy who's going to try to change direction is going to have to very slowly start, you know, talking them down off the ledge over the next year or two. But no, if they want all this stuff, then we got to have power generation. We've got to have infrastructure. And I just saw something here, KCC PAC. Canada can only revive if people start cleaning up garbage filled with Saga Beach. Until then, Canada was done. Yeah, the people who dump the garbage need to be made to clean it up. Because, you know, I mean, a bunch of concerned citizens can go clean it up. And what happens? Well, they'll just come back and shit and drop more stuff there, right? The people who did it have to be made to clean it up. But that would be more racism. We can't commit a racism. So, yeah, that's a bad deal. Those are paid for protesters. I don't doubt that there are some in the crowd. There's agitators. Like even at the trucker convoy, you saw where the RCMP were headquartered in that hotel. They were hanging out Nazi flags and Confederate flags and shit like that for photo ops, right? Yeah, it's just childish. It's just amateur stuff now.
Yeah,
nobody's buying this. Nobody on Twitter is buying it anyway. I mean, downtown Ottawa is, you know, that's Reddit land. They're retards. But
speaking of Confederacy, I've been watching a lot of videos as of lately that have people connecting the dots and saying, "Hey, this American Civil War wasn't fought over freeing slaves. And Abraham Lincoln wasn't shot because he freed the slaves. It was all a bankers' war. It was the North wanted to join. The North obviously was part of the banking cartel there in England, and the South said we don't want part of paying these taxes to the and then the Federal Reserve came in and the income tax act.
Absolutely,
so people are waking up to figure out. Wait, the Civil War was to fight for independence. The South wanted to be independent from the North because the South wanted nothing to do with Europe. And then 56 or 63 years later, boom, World War I kicks off, right? So
sure, yeah, absolutely. There's a sequence to it all for sure. But I mean, keep in mind that the kind of people that we're up against think the Ku Klux Klan is still a thing. Yeah, and not full of feds, right? And they think, oh well, if you watch Fox News, you must be a Nazi. Like these people are retards.
Yeah,
they're literally on a different planet. So yeah, whatever the truth is, it doesn't really matter. They live their own truth, man. You know, it is what it is. We have to protect ourselves from them too, unfortunately. But yeah, the money is a problem. They're they don't do this stuff for free. Yeah, there's paid protesters, but who's paying them? You know, USAID was definitely take offline because there's all kinds of there were all kinds of agitators on Twitter that disappeared shortly after that. You know, there was lots of Hollywood productions that were halted. Like, you know, there was a major source of agitation was stopped, and it doesn't mean that the money has gone back to the taxpayer, right? They're just going to keep it, redeploy it somewhere else. But
let me just interject here real quick, Supreme. So there's a documentary I made, American Civil War: Truth, Independence from the Crown. It was never about freeing slaves. We made this 3 years ago. There's the video there, guys. I'm going to give you the link to the video if you guys want to watch the truth about the Civil War. We've been preaching this, and you know what? Is I collect books, again, published in and around the Civil War, after the Civil, and I have a history book, very impressive history book, that was during the Civil War was published. Yes, it was published in the South. It was published in Alabama. And I have that book. I have the honor of owning some very good literature, Supreme.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, that's the thing. I mean, just about every foundational document of progressivism, like all the way from the Origin of Species to Das Kapital or whatever else, there were rebuttals to them published within a year of the original book.
Yeah.
And it's just, one got bumped and the other one got suppressed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Once they got a narrative, well, everybody gets on board, and the lie travels halfway around the world where the truth is still putting on its shoes.
A lot of southern states still had the Confederate flag into their state flag.
Yeah.
And they ordered to take that all away, ordered to take down all the history, take down all the statues, take down everything so they could hide the history. Anytime you talk secession, you're a racist.
Yeah, but that's not quite having the same effect anymore.
Oh, no, I'm a racist. I'm a level 2 racist now.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. We're all level 2 just because we have pale faces. That is what it is. But keep in mind that these things have a shelf life too, right? Yeah. Like 10 years ago, something was problematic. It was racist. It was misogynist. It was transphobic. Whatever the hell. And now people just roll their eyes, right? And the thing is, they're doing it en masse. When you had vanguard people speaking out against that, well, you could attack them, you could isolate them, you could debank them, you could do all that stuff. But now it's 80, 100 million people going, screw you. Nah, we're not doing this anymore. Fuck off. Right? It's a little bit different. Yeah, they could put us all under surveillance, but if everybody walks by, and gives the camera the finger on the way by and says, we're going to cut your throat, what are they going to do exactly?
Well, I'll tell you what they're going to do.
That's the thing. You need mass disobedience at some point in time.
Supreme,
I will not comply, screw you.
Well, I will not comply, screw you, and I got something for you. Air Canada now has allowed turbans to be worn on pilots.
Yeah, well,
it's Canadian.
It's Canadian, of course. Yeah, well.
And so you know what? When I'm making a video and I said, "Oh, look at that Canadian guy over there," and then people look at me, he's like, "That guy looks like he's from India, Mike. He's not Canadian." No, that's Canadian now. That's the new Canada way now. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, I think you're just it's going to be like Boeing. Like things have gotten so bad there that they fired all their old, they called them old white assholes, the engineers that actually used to run the place. Yeah, they're trying to rehire a bunch of them because.
Oh yeah, especially the pilots.
Still running the ground. It's going to happen everywhere, man. Like they're still trying to push the DEI stuff, and we can't stop them per se yet, but people can certainly refuse to participate.
Okay, but
it's just real simple. Like if they're going to have a bunch of what they suspect to be terrorists, Khalistani terrorists flying your jet, well, then you're just not getting on the plane, or you're going to book WestJet or whatever. You'll cross over to Detroit and fly, American Airlines or something.
Do you remember during COVID when a bunch of pilots quit because they refused to take the vaccine?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, that's right. There were people resisting the whole time, and they were ganging up on them. It was a full court press. That was the move. They were making the move. I maintain it. I mean, it's obviously still going on. It's it's still an arm wrestle, but no, I think that was the attempt.
I got a message in from.
And it didn't work.
I got an email here from Tam Nugent from Vietnam. Hey Mike, this is happening right now as I'm writing you this message. Vietnam is restricting people from mass withdrawing money from their bank accounts. The banks are actually holding people accountable at bank machines, so they remove X amount of dollars. There looks like there's a runoff on the monetary system here in Vietnam.
I can believe it. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, everything is so interconnected and is so stretched, so singing tight that it's just a matter of, okay, what's going to pop first? Which domino is going to go over first? I mean, they had to stop Japan last week, two weeks ago. Yeah, Vietnam, if they're having banking troubles.
Something's going on there. I didn't know. Someone just messaged me that. I didn't even know that was happening. So.
Yeah. Oh, Rick Silver. I'm like 10th generation Canadian. Yeah, same, brother. Same. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know my lineage too far back, but no, I think my namesakes have been running around the New World for, probably since the late 1700s anyway. Um, yeah. This is my country. I got nowhere to go. This is it. I was born here. My body's made out of the soil of this place. I'm a native too.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know
my
how you
kids are
feel,
here, my
Supreme.
family's yeah. I know.
I get
I
that
know.
message from a
I
lot
know
of
that you know.
people. I get so many messages from people all over the place asking me, Mike, where do I move to? Mike, why are you still in Canada? Mike, what, you know what I mean, right? It's
Yeah. There's nowhere to go, guys. There's nowhere to go. Like if you want to try moving to China or Russia or South America somewhere, you might buy yourself some time. You might, because there's a lot of places that they're not. I don't think they're going to get caught up the same way. They're already heavily wired anyway, but they don't. They don't seem to have quite the same attitudes. I mean, they're corrupt as hell, a lot of them, obviously. They don't seem to have the same attitude as Anglo-Saxon rulers. Like the ones we have in charge, like they hate us.
Mm-hmm.
They would just love nothing better than to have us dead. But it was that way in the 30s too. Like they've always been assholes.
Yeah, but now it's in our face with
vernacular
social
tonight.
media.
They've always been terrible people, but at least there was a sense of noblesse oblige.
But
they didn't love the average Anglo, peasant like us, but they understood that they needed us.
But Supreme,
they had to give us a reason to cooperate.
They're in our face with social media now. They're in our face everywhere now. That before in the 1930s, buddy, if you didn't pick up a newspaper back in the 30s, you were living in heavenly bliss. You had no idea what was going on, and you didn't care what was going on. You just focused on your family.
Yeah. You went to work, you went home, to the missus and the 2.3 children, and you pet the dog, and you knew all your neighbors on the street, and you're all going to the same 2-3 churches in town, and you had communities. So I mean, social media, if anything has demolished it, it's social media. My God. Social media is another one of those two-edged swords. I mean, it's enabled us to have this literally people from all over the world, at least the Anglo world, talking here right now in real time. But good God, all the other stuff that's made common is it's just tired. It's tiresome, man. I'm so tired, boss.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man.
Yeah. But you know what? There is still, I think, just from what I see when you go outside, and talk to people, there is a pervasive decency. When we had the wildfires around here 3 years ago, we had about 180 buildings, mostly houses burned down.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an outpouring. Like people brought clothes and blankets and furniture, and they contributed to GoFundMe's, and they were, can we help you? Like everybody was helping. They were, and I just noted it on my Facebook. I was fine where I was, but I had 2 or 3 people, so a couple of them I hadn't talked to in years, saying, "Hey, man, you need a place to stay. Just let us know." Like it was beautiful in a way. Mm-hmm. It really was. And I think that if a real disaster comes or a financial collapse or something like that, you're going to see people coalesce faster than you imagine. And they're going to look after each other.
Well,
there's going to be a lot of people isolated, and it's going to be a problem too. But the thing is, as I've said before, once we have a breakdown of law and order, well, the law and order is what's imposing most of the problems on us right now. Once the law and order is kind of slacked off, you're going to see a lot of these problems disappear. Because there's going to be people trying to make trouble, and they're going to get dealt with.
Well,
they're just going to go away. Someone with 40 acres and a backhoe. Yeah. Because that's the biggest problem with our civilizations too. The reason they work so well is because we regularly executed the worst 1% of the population every year. Frankly. Or at least put them away. You know, and now, you know, I mean, like I said, like it's not the top 10% that's making the trouble for us. It's the bottom 10%. And the top 10% has brought most of them in, and refuses to do anything about them. But I mean, whatever. The people living in Ottawa or Victoria or, you know, in the courthouse every day, we don't interact with them. But the ones that we do interact with, yeah, we can get rid of them. It's not all going to be bad when it falls apart.
Yeah, it's
that's
someone
my
just said no more community identity. That's the problem. There's no more block parties, no more communities getting together. Nobody, you know, having that barbecue at the house at the front. You know, they used to put it on the street, the barbecue, and everyone would come from the street to come and have a hot dog and sit down, and everyone would bring their lawn chairs. Right? Those days are gone.
You know what, dude? Though, well, they're suppressed, right? But I don't think they're gone. Remember in 2020 when you had the BLM riots all over the States? You know, there was some neighborhoods in Seattle and other cities too, where they were trying to get the rioters to go out into the suburbs, you know, to go get whitey.
Yeah.
Right. And you had blocks where I don't know if these were guys that knew each other, but you'd have 30, 40 guys sitting on pickups, drinking beer with their rifles, waiting. Just bring it. Let's do this, right? And they're, you know,
waiting on the oppressors to come.
Hot dogs the whole time too. It's like, yeah, let's do this. You know, I don't know if these guys were all close friends. They were just neighbors. It's like, are they coming? Yeah, okay. Are we? Grab your rifle. Let's go. All
well,
right,
that's America, right? That's America. In America, it's a little bit different. When they catch an arsonist, usually they just post their picture of the arsonist, and that's the guy that burnt my house down. Wait a minute, I got 3 guns in that house. You know what I'm saying? Like, Americans go cowboy. In Canada, they're protecting the arsonists. I spoke to RCMP. I spoke to helicopter pilots. I spoke to all kinds of people, and they're telling me it's arson. And for some reason, the Crown and the courts and everything, they're just protecting these people. They're protecting them in Canada. But in America, boy, your picture goes up for something like that, man, people come after you there. The citizenry will come right after you, right? If you're causing fires down, that guy was causing, I don't know, 10 or 12 fires down in Spokane, Washington, and they caught him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Well, in the end, it's a big bill. And the bureaucracies, they.
Why is our government protecting these people? I don't understand, Supreme. It's really getting frustrating, and a lot of people, guess what? In my area where I am, I don't know about you, but a lot of people are pissed. We haven't had a summer this year. It's been all smoke, and a lot of people have been beyond upset.
Yeah,
here.
8-9 years. I think at least 6 of them. Yeah, we've been smoked out here too.
Every summer.
And of course we had the wildfires in 2023. At least the wind was blowing in the other direction. But the Shuswap area was ravaged, and Adams Lake area where I grew up.
And they caught.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Was 2022? They caught 2022? They caught the 2022 or 2023. They caught 485 arsonists, just in BC alone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to remember too, it's not necessarily all organized. There are just people that this is how they get their summer employment.
Mm-hmm.
They start fires, and then they gotta, then they get on with the fire crew. There was at least one instance in the North Shuswap where there was a roadblock right north of the highway, Trans-Canada, on the north side of the river, and it was Friday afternoon, and all the fires getting away, and people were being evacuated, and my dad heard one of them say, like, oh well, it's more overtime for us.
Yeah.
People are losing their homes, and that's the idea, right?
But then there's no more people to pay the taxes.
And we didn't see them. Yeah.
Well, there's no one to pay the taxes anymore, and the property taxes, and then the municipalities can't fund the fighting fires anymore, right?
Dude, if they could do math, maybe they'd realize that, but they can't, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
It's just okay. Oh, they'll just print money, whatever. We should all, let's just give us all $1 million, then we can all be rich. People don't know. They're not smart. Doesn't mean necessarily they're bad, but they're dumb. They don't understand how anything works. That's a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
But
what else you got for us, Supreme?
Was a reason for the government protecting these arsonists. Well, some of them, I don't know if they are protected. I think some of them were arrested, and I mean, this is a big bill for the government too.
We don't
and
know who
they're
they are, though.
authorized
They
to
won't.
protect
They
them.
will not publicly announce or show who these people are that are doing it. They won't show the arsonists. They won't show who they are, Supreme.
Yeah, well, then that tells you all you need to know who it is, right?
Yeah. In America, they'll show you
when
who
they
the
don't,
arsonists are.
When they don't, yeah, they say Toronto man did this or Brampton man did that. What does it mean? Yeah.
Yeah, they don't tell you. They never show you the art unless it's a white guy. If it's a white guy, I'm willing to bet you a shiny quarter that they'll show the white guy that started the fight.
Oh, if he's even only slightly brown, he's a white guy. You know, have you seen in the States, you know, a white criminal. Dude, some of them look like they just got off the boat from Nigeria and they're calling them white guys. Yeah, no, it's just whatever. It's an agenda. It's an narco-tyranny. They think they're some kind of Bolshevik revolutionaries and, you know, an edgy, Che Guevara types. They're just retards.
So Eduardo saying, why is it always Antifa getting charged and convicted for these arson fires?
Yeah, they're being kind of whipping boys lately, aren't they? Yeah, I don't know if they're. I mean, I don't know who's paying them anymore. They were obviously being paid up to a point, but I mean, we really haven't seen them out that much like they were, say, 10 years ago.
Yeah, I
They
believe
want
that
to
the
clean
people
the
that
landscape of people. We are carbon units that they don't want to support anymore. Yeah, well, yeah, that's how they see it. But there again, they're retards. You know, like the kind of people that think things like that. You know, like I don't know how many people actually take them seriously anymore. Like, you know, that Yuval Harari guy that just basically said we're programmable animals or whatever, you know, little gay Jewish guy, you know, like, dude's an idiot. I just think
queerosexual?
I think oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's, I don't know. I think people like that are frontmen anyway. I think they're just puppets too. You know, because they were just so obviously these cartoon villains, right? Like Klaus Schwab. Like, you know, he just looked like a Bond villain, and it's like, yeah, yeah, man, yeah, we're totally gonna do that. Yeah, carry on. Look, think of the things they've done. They've tried to. Every store and fast food outlet had, like, you know, Beyond Meat, you know, as an offering, and Beyond Meat stock has collapsed.
Yeah.
You know, they built a cricket farm in Western Ontario, you know, to feed the people.
Yeah, but the taxpayers paid for this shit, Supreme. This
yes,
wasn't
I
private.
know. I know that. But what happened? It got closed down. No one's going to buy frickin' crickets.
Right. So the government won't use its own money. Like, Trudeau won't take money out of his own bank account pocket to open one of these fucking bullshit facilities with those fucking construction boots he was wearing. He uses our money to gamble with this fucking shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course. We're in the looting phase, right? Like, they're just crooks. It's all grift. Every time they're going to build a battery plant, or they're going to do this, or they're going to do that. No, they're not. They're just they'll put something up, you know, and there'll be generous kickbacks from the contractor. But yeah, for the most part, they're just stealing. Which in the end of the day, like Will Rogers said 100 years ago, you know, be thankful you're not getting all the government you're paying for.
Yeah.
Right? We pay an awful lot of money to our government. We're not getting much out of it. But then they're also not very capable in anything else either, are they? Yeah, they want to build a surveillance state. What are you going to power it with?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know about you, but I don't see any more nuclear plants going up in Canada.
No.
Like in Texas, for example, they had, you know, the maximum power their grid can produce, like in a hot summer when all the air conditioners going, was something like 91 gigawatts. Well, they got something like 450 gigawatts worth of data centers they want to build there. Like, it's not going to work. It's just retarded. I don't know. That's why I've said before, it seems like whoever these elites, you know, quote unquote elites are, they're on some kind of timeline, but it's completely disconnected from ours now. Like, they don't seem to be aware of actual events going on around them now. They're just following a plan. And that plan went off the rails, I don't know, as far as I'm concerned, 10 years ago. But they don't know what else to do, so they're just doing the plan. You know, Ukraine was a disaster, but they just keep going. They don't really seem to have a choice. Iran. Well, they've been trying to get somebody to bomb Iran for 40 years. Well, now they're doing it and it didn't work. So what are they doing? Well, we need to bomb Iran some more. Right? Everybody in the U.S., like Trump was elected, you know, I mean, whatever you think, he's the guy in the office, and he was there for no new wars. Now he's doing a new war, and now all their minions are on Twitter lecturing the people complaining about it that they're not patriots. You know, they're just retards. Like, and I think that they're, you know, heavily carpet bomb the elitists. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're the useless eaters, and not us. They don't produce anything. Just misery and chaos.
Anything else, Supreme?
Yeah.
You still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm just breaking your ball. I'm just breaking.
Oh,
balls.
okay. All right. Guy in Spain caught blue lasers starting a fire using an infrared thermal camera. I don't doubt it. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a video
Yeah,
about
I don't doubt it.
lasers starting a fire in my area. I got it on. I didn't get the laser on camera because I didn't have my phone with me. I saw this laser come out. I saw it, and it started a fire. And there was a huge fire, like right across where I was filming from with my camera. I was in my house from my back window, and there was a fire up on the hill. And I swore I saw something, Supreme. The video's up on my YouTube. Let me see if I can see the laser pointing. If I can find it for you guys. You guys might want to watch this video. This was like 2 or 3 years ago. It was red or green laser, or I can't remember. Right here. Video's up right here, folks. I saw a red laser. Now there's this ton of smoke coming from that area over the mountain. So here, I'm going to play a little bit of the clip for you guys here. So let me see if I can get the smoke here. If I got the smoke, I have everything here. There's a fire coming from the mountain up there. There's the fire right there. You could see the little red. That was a fire right there. You could see it in the video right there.
Mm-hmm. I remember that one. Yeah.
Just before that, just seconds before, I saw like a laser hit it right there.
Yeah. That was only like 3-4 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I had my phone, but the thing is, how do you know how to react to that without knowing it's gonna? You know what I mean? It's like impossible to unless you're at the. You know what I mean, right?
Well, that's right. We don't know when these people are going to do what they're going to do, and they, you know, it's like a burglar breaking into your house, right? They already planned on doing it. They've already expected that they're going to do whatever they need to do to get what they want. If that means hurting you, well, whatever. And by the time they bust in the door, well, you're just computing that something's gone wrong, and you know, by the time you realize it's over, right? That's the thing. It's all hit and run. That's the plan. But you know, like there's so many phones out there now that this stuff, you know, people have this tracked down in an hour, not 3 weeks or 10 years anymore. Like the void cycle, the OODA loop on this stuff has just gotten short so much. It's a problem for them. Big Rob, notice how rap music just stopped. Trump stopped their funding. It was a psyop all along. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. USAID and other sources of funding, yeah, they did dry up or got redirected to other things. And yeah, all of a sudden the rap music and at least some of the woke movies were canceled in production. And I think Radio Free Europe, and there was all kinds of overseas stuff too that just dried up. Or they started GoFundMe pages to keep this important thing going because all of a sudden they weren't getting government funding.
Garbage.
You know, yeah. No, there's a lot of activists that were out of work, put out of work from that for sure.
Supreme, and a lot of content creators have abandoned their channels with 250,000, 500,000 subscribers because U.S. aid isn't funding them anymore too.
That's right. Yeah, that's a lot of these big channels were probably getting government money, for sure. I mean,
7,000. I think it was 7,002. Or 7,001. I have the numbers written down at work. I made a video. Canadians were getting U.S. aid. Canadian content creators that showed up last year or 2 years or 3 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's not. YouTube doesn't make any money. Not that much anyway, I don't think. I think Alphabet pays like $1 billion a year to run that service. I mean, they sell a lot of ads on it too and stuff, but I'm not saying there's no money in it, but yeah, there was always a lot of, music on radio has always been a means of propaganda in different ways. Yes, music absolutely is part of the psyop. Yeah. I mean, even rock and roll and jazz before that. jazz and rock and roll were both kind of Southern black terms for sex, right? I mean, that's where that came from. So, the understanding of it was going to be something raunchy from the word go.
Yep.
Like Hollywood was, I mean, even in the days of silent film, Hollywood was, or at least in some of the back studios, were creating like hardcore pornography in the 1920s.
Yep, that's
Right.
were.
But then you had a code, and that shut that down and knocked that shit out. But by the late 60s, well, it busted open again, and away it went. So they bought us some time. In the Soviet Union, they had hardcore pornography everywhere and family breakdown and all that. What we're going through right now is basically similar to what the Bolsheviks were doing in Russia in the 20s. It's all very similar. Break down social cohesion. But in the end, what happened? The Soviet Union collapsed, and now Russia is, fighting all of NATO basically right now, at least by proxy, and they're holding their own. So it is possible to come back from these things. And I'd like, and again, I always point out the historical examples of societies that have been occupied for a long time, like Serbia.
Mm-hmm.
Serbia was occupied by the Ottoman Turks for almost 600 years, 550 anyway. But the day came when the Ottoman Empire finally got weak enough, and the Russians and others stepped in to help, and the Serbians booted them out, and they were still there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to find out how strong our culture and our society is. I mean, right now they're still kind of like, well, this isn't really happening, but it's good that it is, kind of a thing, right? Trying to replace us in our country and overthrow us and occupy us and the rest of us. Yeah, no, it's not going to be that simple.
You give Islam an inch, they'll take your country. And so you know what, Supreme? It's not Islamophobia, it's Islamofactual, my friend.
It's Islamorealism, yeah.
Yeah. So,
well, the problem that we have here, is secularism. There's just so many people in Canada that, Christianity has been so lambasted for so long. You could say Islamophobia, and you could say, no, I'm just a Christian.
mm-hmm.
It would be that simple. Well, no, it's not that I'm Islamophobe. I'm a Christian.
That's right.
I don't trust them.
Yeah, and that's why we have borders in our countries in Europe, to protect ourselves from those people.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's the thing. That's why places like Poland.
That's why
Hungary,
other Muslim countries don't trust other Muslim countries and defend their borders too against other Muslim countries.
Absolutely. Look what happened in Pakistan. They had something like 300,000-400,000 Afghanis in the country. Well, they just rounded them up and booted them out just like that.
Yeah,
it's really that simple, and it could be that simple here too. They're just the people in charge don't want it happening, but it's costing an unbelievable amount of money and a destruction of the standard of living of us, still tentatively middle class people,
mm-hmm.
to maintain this nonsense. And some people buy into it, but I mean, they're all in the government dole too, for the most part.
Yeah.
So like I say, when the money dries up, or they really have to start cutting costs, and they're not going to have a choice sooner or later, a lot of stuff's just going to dry up. Like a whole bunch of students have left here to go back to India because there's no life here, and they're not welcome here.
I wanted to say we got about less than 30. We got 30 minutes left in the show. I want to see if I can get one more caller on, Supreme. And
no problem, buddy. Yeah,
we've been talking for a beautiful hour now. And
it's been fun. It's been fun. Thanks.
We're talking for a beautiful over an hour, and I don't have a problem with that. But we'll get you back on our 666 show. I'm going to see if I can do this 6-hour Mike of the Night.
Sure. Yeah. By all means. Yeah,
and then we'll get you to host semi-host the show for about an hour.
Sure,
and then I'll come back.
We'll do a running verbal gun battle on there for 6 hours. Yeah, that sounds like fun. That shouldn't be a problem here. Okay. Well, as always, guys. Yes, it's getting to be crisis point. If you got any blank spots in your pantries, fill them up. Just spend the money. Just be sure when if we have an energy crisis or a financial crisis or a supply crisis of some kind, there might be things that suddenly leap up in price if you can't even get them. The hoarding will begin again at some point. So, beat the crowd.
Get your toilet paper.
Get your toilet paper. Yeah. And it's going to be funky, but it's not catching us by surprise. We've been talking about this for a long time.
Yep.
And we're just getting closer. The people in charge are losing control.
They are.
They're losing control of the situation. Yeah. It's becoming more unstable. I mean, when you create this kind of chaos in a country, well, the assumption is, okay, well, they're going to make something else out of it. Well, once you create the chaos, everybody, when you declare a war on somebody, I guess what I'm saying is, like, you've declared war on us. Yeah. Well, in a war, the other side gets a vote too.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we get a vote in that. Like, it's just getting to the point where they're not even trying to hide it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
When it becomes more overt, yeah, well, that's it. All bets are off.
That's right.
And they don't have enough cops. And people think they're going to have blue helmet, UN helmets on the streets and stuff like that. They can't raise a brigade. They're not going to occupy Canada. Don't be concerned about that. We are a heavily armed country too. We actually are. We're not disarmed here.
Yeah.
And there's lots of things that we can do that don't require bullets anyway. So don't be so discouraged, guys. It is awful. It's happening on purpose. And we all have our, there's lots of theories why it's happening, but a certain amount of it is, I think, desperation. I think it's desperation. I think these people they're in way over their head.
Oh, and they know it too.
Yeah.
Accountability's
Greg
through the
Cook.
roof.
Make sure to go over to Greg Cook's TikTok and give him a thumbs up.
Yeah, no worries. Craig Cook. Good old
Yeah.
Craig.
Yeah, cheaper cigarettes on Mars, I bet. I hope so. If I wind up going to Mars to get away from this nonsense, yeah, I'm hoping there's good tobacco there at least. Yeah, I should quit, but I'm old enough now. It's like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Carney shorted the Canadian dollar. It's about to get much worse. Yes, I've heard that he kind of liked to get it down to 50 cents.
Well, I was predicting 60-cent dollar.
60 cents? Well, damn. We seem to be
4 years ago, 3 years, and 2 years, I've made my 60-cent dollar. The great Canadian peso's coming. The great Canadian peso.
Yeah. Well, we've been there before.
So
in 2000, I mean, it was 62 cents.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it could happen again. But a lot of things are happening with our southern neighbor too. Like the U.S. dollar is evaporating too. There was a big dust up on X this week about like you go to Taco Bell or Chipotle's and a burrito was like $20. Like they don't have cheap stuff down there anymore either. Like, it's falling apart fast.
I got some good news before you go, Supreme. Okay. They are now talking about renaming British Columbia to acknowledge Indigenous heritage.
Oh, what do you think they're going to call it?
I don't know. Something I can't pronounce.
Yeah. Well, that would have to go to a referendum, and I'm not worried about what the result would be.
I will. It's just more and more to push people out and isolate the people that built the country. Demonize the people that built the country, and just, what? Fine, keep it. Give it to them. Like I was telling my mom and my kids today, we're just gonna give them back their country. Just give it back to them. Just take it. We're not gonna fight this. We're done with this. We're done with this shit. We're done. We're tired. We're fatigued. We're done. Take it back.
Well, and the sad part is the people that want to rename all this stuff, they're also, they're liberal white people, right? Mm-hmm. They're socialist white people.
Good, they can have it all.
They're the descendants. My point is, they're descendants of the people that built the place too.
Yeah, they can have it all.
They're just traitors. They're just brainwashed traitors.
Yeah. Make
Gallows great again. Yeah, I go with that. That needs to happen. That's the thing too. Someone mentioned here earlier. Yeah, they imported all these guillotines in the United States. Yeah, well, it's still a coin toss who's actually going to go onto those things.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be so scared of that. It gets to the point in time they want to crack down like that. Yeah, then the guns are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Because now it's self-defense. It's not going to be, okay, some local vibrancy broke into your house or something. It's going to be the police breaking into your house. Yeah, or trying to take out all the houses on one block. Yeah, they'll make it about 3 doors down, and then, there's going to be a little bit of resistance.
You know who's on Rumble Chat?
Who's on Rumble Chat?
Abafield.
AB Field, is that right?
Yeah, he's on Rumble. I'm seeing him here on Rumble. And Tio Moon, that buys me a coffee every other week. Thanks, Tio, for being... Tio Moon's here, Abba Field's here. Thanks, guys, for being here.
Yeah. Yeah, we got lots of lampposts in Canada, guys.
And Tio Moon bought me a
we've got our
coffee
weapon
too.
We've got our weapons too.
And thank you, Tio Moon, for buying me a coffee, buddy. And yeah. Anyway,
thanks,
Supreme,
Bill.
we'll get you back on soon enough, buddy. We got like less than 30 minutes left. Let me see if I can get someone else on the show.
Yeah, go get someone else, and it's great to interact with everybody. Chin up, yeah, do what you got to do, and we'll figure it out together.
God bless you, my friend.
God bless you, Mike. Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.
That is our boy Supreme Cannon, and we could talk for hours with him. We could talk for days with Supreme Cannon. We're going to get it back on the 666 show where I'm going to work towards doing a 6-hour. I'll start at 3 o'clock, but you guys have to call in, man. I can't carry a 6-hour show. How tough do you think I am? Someone says on the Rumble chat, Supreme Cannon is always interesting. And then someone says, I need arrows. I learned about IDEs. Someone was making fun of me when I was making my video about my Templar sword that I have. I have my Templar sword, and I said it's part of my culture, and I go back right to the organization of the Templars, the Martins family. Go look it up. Goes right back to the beginning of the Templars, the Martins family. And the Templars in Portugal. When the Templars here, guys, watch this. Oh, please, guys. Here it is. Watch this video, guys. I'm going to give you the link.
And Isabella?
This is the truth. No, that's the truth about Christopher Columbus. You can watch that one if you want. The Knights Templar, the formation of the military order of Christ. This is what my family...
stone pillars, usually topped with a Templar cross, that Portuguese explorers erected to mark significant landings and claim territories on behalf of the Portuguese crown. Padros symbolized Portugal's sovereignty over the newly discovered lands and were an important part of Portugal's maritime history during the Age of Exploration. Some of the most famous padros were erected by explorers like Bartolomeu Dias and Vasco da Gama during their voyages around the coast of Africa and into the Indian Ocean.
So when you guys get some time, watch this. This is very important. Yeah, Portugal is way before all of Nova Scotia. Scottish for is Portuguese for New Scotland. Like nothing adds up to the history they're telling us. And what's that? Oak Island is the Portuguese Templars. Australia was mapped by the Portuguese way before the Dutch or whoever they claim. It was the military order of Christ that exists today in Portugal, and it's still being used. The military order of Christ order is still. We showed you guys the parade, and all the horses and the torches at night in Tumar in the castle, and a beautiful military order of Christ. Everyone with their shiny weapons. Let me see if I could find a picture for you guys so you guys see what I'm talking about. Yeah, the military order of Christ is still in order. It's still there. It's still operating. And Order of Christ, Tomar Festival. I was at the castle. Videos are up. Here it is. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. That's the Military Order of Christ festivities. And that's what it looks like there. There they are right there. They're all sorted up. Everyone's in their gear. You got the cavalry regiments there. Yeah, it's a big deal. I'm gonna be going next year to this one. I did post the dates for this year's, but it already passed. I told you guys about this year's Military Order of Christ, and I already told you guys the days and everything of the festivals. It's really nice. Holy Mass. There's everything. Holy Mass. There's everything. My ancestors, I did the genealogy right to the beginning. I go right back to these guys. Military Order of Christ. Let me see here. Founder. Let me see if I can find it here real quick for you guys. I think if I just type in my name here, if I just type in my last name, it's... If I just type in Martins. Founded in Portugal, approved by Papal Bill 1319 after the suppression of their order in 1312. The Templars ordered the Military Order of Christ. And goes into here. If you look hard enough, you'll find the Martins name tied to the finding of... you'll find the Martins name tied to the Military Order of Christ, and you'll see what I'm talking about. France, Denis of Portugal, Miriam, Manuel of Portugal, rebranded them. And, yeah, it was founded by, Martins. You could find it. You gotta look for it. I'm not finding anything tonight. I don't know why. I was looking up stuff all night tonight. Was on the thing with Supreme. Yeah. And I even have my Military Order of Christ numbered here. It's like a dog tag. Yeah. There it is. There it is. The first Grand Master, Gilles Martins, who was also a master of Vies at the time. There he is. In 1356. So, anyways, I'm sweating here hard, guys. Oof. Should have not worn this jacket. Shouldn't have worn this. Let's see if we get another caller on before we wrap up here tonight. Let's see who's here. Guys, don't be shy to message me. Let me see if there's anybody in the requests. Damn, not a single request. I get a lot of people bashing me in the Instagram comments. Okay, but good. We got a caller here. Yes, you're next. Yeah, you're next. All right, we're gonna get him next. Let's get Hello.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Hey, good to hear from you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Abafield.
Hey, man, thanks for the intro. A long-time listener and occasional caller. Mm-hmm. Sorry I'm late today, Mike. What you starting at 6 p.m. Pacific on Mondays?
Yeah, we've been doing it for over a year now. Since, I think, March of last year, we've been going 6 p.m. Mondays now. Because we're competing with too many big names on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And the people that are getting funding to be online, the people that make money online, are the ones that get all the traction, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is community supported. Your army of 100 still stands.
Yeah, I'm running off of coffee is what I'm running off.
Right? Awesome. Hey, so I won't be long. And again, sorry I'm late. Hey, I just wanted to touch upon what Supreme was saying, because I was saying to Buddy today at work, buy tin goods. It really feels like February 2020, and I'm just going to quickly break down why.
Take your time.
Hey, the United States did what they did in Iran, and they got some surprises. And what comes out of the Gulf through the Strait of Hormuz? As we know, it's not just oil, which is gasoline. It's also jet fuel, which is air freight. It impacts shipping and also fertilizer. So we are going to just see now, because there is no quick resolution, we are going to see just a slow climb of prices, food prices, just a slow climb. And so, like I'm telling everybody I know, don't panic buy, don't clear the shelves, nothing like that. But just every time you go, buy 5 tins more. Every time you go, just prep a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like February 2020, I was already a month in tracking COVID. You were talking about it. And then somebody else, there was an Irish blogger who was a Wuhan on Channel 4 from the United Kingdom. So I was already in, and I'm in Walmart in Surrey with my wife, and we're loading up our carts. People are staring at us. And I'm like, you got to kind of pay attention to what's going on. And then come March, everybody's lighting their hair on fire. And it's just a little bit too late at that time to get some supplies. So, no, I mean, JD Vance is saying today that they're halfway through the game. And that's a month after the foreign secretary, Marco Rubio is saying that the war is over. And it clearly isn't.
No.
And so,
no.
So it's not. And so this is something that they're going to have to grapple with and try to get out of. But there's one thing I want your listeners to keep in mind, and I think it's a tell. Have you ever heard of like a friend of yours, going to a car dealership and wanted to buy a car and like asking maybe a question like, I like this car, I like this Honda Civic. Does it come with floor mats? And then the sales guy will say something like, hey, this model comes with floor mats. Now, notice the sales guy did not say, hey, the Honda Civic I'm selling you right now, it's going to come with a floor mat for free. They're on us. We're going to... No. The sales guy didn't say that. He said, this model of car comes with floor mats. And I had a buddy who went through this 20 years ago. And then all of a sudden, he goes to pay the bill at the end of a 3-hour negotiation, floor mats, $95. Right? And the Trump administration is doing very similar things with the Strait of Hormuz. And I don't blame Trump. He's a sales guy. He's got himself into a bit of a pickle. But when they say, I want people to remember this, when the administration says, we're waiting for economic pressure to do its thing. We're waiting for economic pressure to move things forward. He's not talking about the Iranians, because they've had an embargo against Cuba for 60 years and it's still communist.
Yes.
He's talking about Europe and Asia. So when the United States say, hey, economic pressure, we're going to wait for that to move things forward. Trump administration is waiting for the economic pressure, i.e. rice to double in Asia, the cost of rice to double in Asia, the cost of other things, olive oil to double in the Mediterranean, so on and so forth. He's waiting for that economic pressure for the Europeans and the Asians to go, oh, okay, fine, we'll send some naval ships and we're going to get more involved. So just look out for that, my friend.
Yeah. I think we predicted all this like back in November 2022. We predicted all this. The Strait of Hormuz, the Lebanon and Israel, and we were saying if Trump is allowed to get back in, he's going to double down in with Israel and invade Iran. And I got a lot of backlash on that video, actually, to be honest.
Because people didn't think there would be a land invasion?
Well, people thought I was out of my mind.
Well, no. I mean, people, I've said before in 2020, I remember saying to my kids, youth group leaders, Well, you know, in a time of war, and they're all women, and they're all looking at me like, you know, these youth group leaders of the church, and they're like, war? There's no wars anymore. And now I'm so tempted to email them saying, you know, the governments are literally looking at Gen Z, specifically Gen Z men, like my son, and are wanting to conscript them like they want to do in Germany and preparing them for that in Germany.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to push, and this is a total separate issue, but you've got the European Union trying to push that war to unify and create a super state in the European Union. But yeah, lots of surprises coming up. But I just wanted to touch on that, you know, hey, buy an extra tin or two of food. It won't hurt you. Kind of, yeah. That's all I wanted to say, my friend. Very interesting stuff. And you're going to make me skip my Monday after work meal next week, but okay. I got to
What do
tune
you
in.
mean? What you have like what do you mean? Like
I get home from work at 6. I was hungry today, and I thought, I'll throw in Mike in the night afterwards, and you're more than halfway done. So
yeah,
next week I'll throw it on at 6 p.m.
Yeah, can you call in on episode 666? I'm gonna get like 5-10 minute everyone. Like I want to see if I can get 50-60 callers, and we're gonna do a marathon.
Holy hell! What a number for that. Okay, we'll give it a go.
All right, Abbotfield. You can find them in the comments. I'm seeing you on the comments on Rumble.
I love Rumble. I really do. Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, I know you're. I like it. I like it. Let's. You know, YouTube is pretending they're our friend again. They're pretending, but their authoritarian ways are going to come back, I think.
You think so? I'm going to lose everything I work for, everything I build?
Hey, I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to be a doom guy tonight, okay?
Yeah.
Hey, bro, take her easy. I'll let you go.
God bless you. Bye.
You too. Bye.
That is our boy Abbotfield. And you know, he came to visit me at my store in person to talk to me, and we talked. We chatted for, 40 minutes, an hour. Then he went on his way. A lot of European immigrants in the 19th century came here because of similar problems, similar promises. Yeah, it's Mike in the Night, people. It's Mike in the Night, episode 664. Let's see if we could get another caller in the show here. Try my best to get callers in the show. Callers on the show. Here, let me see if I could get someone else here. Another caller on the show here on Mike in the Night. You are tuned in to Mike in the Night, the voice of the Commonwealth. Don't forget to buy your boy a coffee.
From Australia to New Zealand, from the UK to the USA, from Canada, the true voice of the Commonwealth, Mike in the Night. Hey, voice of the Commonwealth, from the streets to the global well. Hear it loud, hear it clear tonight. It's Mike in the Night, shining light. Whoa. We don't follow, we lead the way through the noise. What they hide, what they say.
Glenn?
Yola.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Canada's most famous homeless man, Glenn. Thanks for being here on Mike in the Night.
Glad to be here, Mike.
So, what do you got for us, buddy? You're on the ground. You're seeing it all.
What I'm seeing is that the construction projects that had all stalled out, they're starting up some of them. It's like as though they've released some credit.
They're getting bailed out by our taxes. Our tax dollars are all those construction projects you're seeing. Those are all Chinese projects. They're all being bailed out by our tax dollars.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It seems like there's been a bunch of not like in the last weeks, like a few months back, that there seemed to be houses that started selling at way below the, you know, watching the local real estate, they were saying, oh, look, it's up, but it's up from so down, so it's still not. And hey, you know, we still haven't hit bottom yet. But what I was seeing in the street is that they're starting to do some puttering with the excavations. They're actually doing, but they're not pouring concrete. It's like still puttering. And if you go to the site and you think, oh, well, this site's almost finished, if the, you know what I mean? It's a large, like the apartment building, maybe 5-6 floors, takes up half a block, like 60 units, maybe 100 units, you know, the large building. And there's like 18 people, like 25, less than 25 people. You'd be like, well, there should be 60, 70, maybe more, you know, 4 or 5 different crews, but they're not. They're just puttering and busy work. But what I've seen is that they've started doing excavations. It's as if they're going to do a new project. But the thing is it's the end of summer now. And it's like, what's actually going to be done? So, yeah, like you were saying, I think they've released some of the credit and something's happening, but it's still not very much. And I'm just like, I don't know. I talk to people, and if they're still employed, they're like, oh, yeah, I've got lots of work. And then you talk to them a bit more, and then they put caveats. Oh, well, yeah, we're not hiring anyone new. And, oh, well, the reason why I've got lots of work is because I do the jobs of 2.5 people. And that's why my boss can't fire me, is because I outwork everybody else. And I'm kind of, you know, so you're like, oh, really? Well, if you didn't have those caveats, then it'd be dead. Yeah, kind of. It is dead unless your name is Harbjeet. And then you can just walk on and get a job because that's the company that's still hiring.
But here's the deal, brother. This like when I lived in my tower in Vancouver by Stadium where the Canucks play at the tower, at the corner there on Kiefer. I lived in a 300-unit tower building. It was enormous. And I think it was 54 floors or 63 floors. It was huge. And let me tell you something. There was only 16 people living in the entire tower. It was all owned by Chinese nationals. And the concierge had the keys to different units. And we would go into the different units and you'd see the plastic on the counters and the plastic on the microwave from the builder from 16 years ago still there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's what they've been doing. See, if it's downtown, if it's in the area where they build condos, they're not starting any new projects. They might have just, with this last month or so, just released the credit enough that they're still working on the building that is about to finish. And so maybe there's more workers there. But if it's a new start, it's out in the suburbs and it's like an individual that they're building their own house.
I said no, like but what I'm saying, when the Vancouver was an empty shell when I was living there, and all the towers were empty. Like there was like 10 people to a tower of 300 potential 400 people could live there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or that's what it's like 50-50 on the emptiness, and it's not because there's some that they've only got 30-40% occupancy. There's others that are in the cheap rent that they have 100%, 89, you know, nearly 100. And then all the brand new luxury condos are like 85, 90+ % empty. So it still equivocates over the board to like, yeah, half the city's empty. But people won't look around. People won't look around and see what is going on right in front of their face. It's like the Sam Shepard and the willful blindness. So also what I think is, okay, there's still the same amount of drug money circulating. They need to launder it somewhere. If sales are down 90%.
That's the fentanyl. No, brother. The fentanyl, we tied this back in 2014 and 2015 and 2016. The fentanyl that comes in from China gets laundered into the Canadian real estate. We cover the, like, we're talking about billions of dollars. from the fentanyl sales. The fentanyl comes from China, from the Shenzhen province into the ports of Vancouver, Kitimat, and different ports. And from there, it gets the money that's made and the proceeds made get laundered into Canadian real estate, right?
Well, they get shipped overseas. That's why the government wants the money laundering in the property market, because otherwise even more money would just be sent back overseas.
So,
and they're using the laundering of the money to keep.
No one's sending money to China, brother. No Chinese national that has money in Canada and laundering money and going through the drug trade and dirty money, well, they're getting their money out of China. They don't want to put that money back into China. It's communist. There are all these regulations in their banking. They don't want to send their money overseas. They want to keep it parked here in our real estate in Canada. That's why a one-bedroom, $600,000 condo, you could buy a whole condo tower in parts of America for $600,000, you know? So we're completely fucked here. We're completely so fucked up here with our real estate. And, yeah. Anyways, keep going.
Well, that's what I'm thinking is if the sales are down 90%, and before when sales were, their normal numbers, 5 years ago, height of the pandemic, if the drug fentanyl money laundering was 2, 4, 8, 10, sub 10% of the market, now that number has stayed the same and you've lost 90% of the sales, the regular people, the investors are out of the market.
That's why we have 4 million empty units across Canada.
Oh, it's way more. It's way more.
It was 3.9 million. Last I checked was in 2022, we had 3.9 million empty units.
Oh, those are probably underreported. There's empty lots that they don't even put up a fence around. There's no security, no trespassing signs.
No. I'm talking about empty units owned by foreign nationals, like Chinese. Like I know one Chinese guy that has 300 condos in Canada, and they're all empty.
Yeah, and they're already built, and then those go empty into the numbers.
Yeah,
they don't count the stuff that's being developed. If it's being built, they don't count those 300 units as stock. They don't count those 300 units as empty.
I know what you mean.
That's what I mean. Yeah, they're double dealing on even those numbers to make them smaller, because I see empty lots all over the place. But this is what I mean, that if maybe 5% of a normal market was the money laundering, now it could be as high as 50% of home sales, because home sales are down 90%. So the only ones that still have money, that are still able to buy into the market, are the foreign nationals who are looking to launder drug proceeds money.
Yeah.
And as the economy gets worse, well, we've still, the amount of drugs, it's going up. The amount of overdoses is going up as the economy gets worse.
Conventional street drugs are being laced with this garbage from China.
Oh, yeah. It's all over the place.
It's in cocaine, it's in weed, it's in everything. And they're lacing it up good.
Yeah. And they're the only ones that still have money in this economy. The construction workers that can't even pay for their rent just go, everybody can still afford their drugs. Somehow, magically, they can still afford drugs or cigarettes or alcohol at the liquor store at the government tax rate, but they can't afford they can't afford to pay you back the $20 that they borrowed from you. But they can still afford to go to the drug dealer and give him $40. So I think that those are some of the few sales that are still going on in the Lower Mainland. Some of the few, personal houses that are still getting built. It's the laundering of the money that was still there, and now it's like maybe 1 out of every 4, maybe 1 out of every, instead of it being 1 out of 10 or 20, it's like
someone's saying to me, is Mike scared of the Sikhs? Because I think a lot of the illegal activity has changed hands from the Chinese to the Vietnamese to the Punjabis to the Sikhs. No, I'm not scared of nobody. If the whole Chinese money laundering, the trillions of dollars they laundered from 2010 to March 2024, $2.4 to $2.6 trillion, create artificial shortages and bidding wars. Okay? And then Canada tried to fix its housing market by bringing in 4 million, 5 million Indians and putting 40 to a house to try and balance the housing. They tried everything to fix this because Canada's economy was built not off oil, not off exports, not off raw materials, because China owns most of that stuff already. It was actually built off of selling homes to Chinese. And now we're finished. We're done. And it all started because of the Chinese. And once people in Canada realized that MAID, assisted suicide, is tied to Chinese organizations, and MAID and the migrant centers are tied to Chinese. Oh boy, because in Australia they got caught. The migrant centers in Australia got caught with Chinese influence. They're all doing
that's
this.
Why.
Oh fuck! They're ripping everything apart.
That's why Carney and EB are covering up. They are so not wanting for any of that information to come out. It's like, yeah, look at what's happening right in front of your face. Nope, we got to pretend that that's not happening and gloss over that one. Back to climate change again.
Oh, climate change, and then another war, and then climate change, global warming, and then global warming.
Trump.
Yeah.
I can't get anybody to talk about anything other than either the Straits of Hormuz or Trump. And you're like, you know what they're doing right here in your own neighborhood?
Yeah.
Nope, nobody wants to talk about it.
Nope, of course they don't. Yeah, of course they don't want to fix it.
Yeah, they're covering up more than just the Chinese. They're covering up the Yankee money that's been coming in here, and they're blaming the Chinese for that.
Americans don't bring money to Canada anymore. They stopped bringing money in the 80s and 90s. They don't bother. The taxation is too high. That's why a Target in Canada, all these big American outfits just closed in Canada. Like, what are we here for? We're just paying the government of Canada to be here. Forget it. You know, Americans stopped bringing money in here a long time ago. The Americans that are bringing money into Canada right now, we covered it on our channel, are Chinese nationals that went into Seattle, Washington State, that went into Oregon and California, laundered their money there, now sold their assets, and now moving to Canada. And the government of Canada is giving them, because they're bringing in millions of dollars from America, they're getting citizenship right at the border if they're Chinese. Just give them citizenship right there. Let them into the country. I met a few of them in my store. The lady,
and they're coming
talking,
in.
I'm American. I'm like, how the fuck are you American? You don't even speak English. You don't even. The Chinese people. They're like, oh, we went to Seattle. We buy 5 homes and we sell the home. We come Canada now. Trump. This is what they said. Trump is dangerous and too many black people.
Oh yeah.
That's what they
They're
told me in my
not going to
face.
like it in Vancouver. We're just getting flooded with the African migrants.
Yeah.
It's a UN camp, and that's who's buying the tickets. They're the immigrants and the worst possible doctors and lawyers that we could ever import. That's for sure. And yeah, they're working for the NGO Chinese. You know what? Also, the people who were running those shots, the COVID shots, they was always Chinese nurses, and they were hiring all these temporary foreign nurses, and there was the one sacrificial white local nurse, and they were stood around by like 3 Chinese ladies, and they were giving out shots in the park, like by the tram station at the mall. And you're like, this doesn't make any sense. But people were lining up, and they had their masks on, and they were going out as community workers, looking to find all the poor people from Canada. I remember that from a few years 100%. Back.
And none of them took the vaccine themselves?
No, I doubt it. Yeah. Oh, no, not that stuff. Yeah.
Someone in the comments
I do.
Someone in the comments saying America buys 90% of Alberta's exports, which turn finance your equalization payments. See, Americans, if it wasn't for America, we'd be in a lot of trouble. And the liberal, the Canadian government is trying to make us hate on Americans, even though like 75 or 80%. I was trying to explain this to some fucking liptard in my store. 80% of our exports go to America. Without America, we'd be starving. Oh, I got to look into that. I don't think it's 70 or 80%. I think it's like 10%. I'm like,
oh, God.
Go fuck yourself with your stupid asshole college degree. Roll up that diploma into a dildo, you stupid fuck. I'm so tired of this shit, man.
As you go closer to the border, it's more. And then as you go further from the border, it's a little bit less. But then as you go even further from the border, it's even more of that goes to America. For like as you get up into the Yukon, the contracts with the companies for the minerals. And so that's what I mean. That I think Carney's working with the Americans, and when everything hits rock bottom prices, when the dollar is 60 cents or even lower, that's when you're going to see Americans coming back to buy us up cheap. I think the only sales to Americans are that they have a stronger dollar, and that, like you said, they're fleeing Trump's America, or that they've, had a mindset to buy out failed Canadian businesses anyways, and they're just seizing the opportunities that are presenting themselves, because that's what Carney's doing with his Brookfield capital assets, and he's working for the New York crew. I do still think that there is like a lot of the American money that's coming up here to, purchase out, to buy out the mineral rights. And as you said, well, they can't make any money with the taxes, but Canada's still got all these rare earths and cobalts in the ground. And if America is going to move back to manufacturing in the manufacturing to more locally and build more of the high-powered missiles, well, they're going to come up here and buy out more. And then that's what Carney, with his, what was his bill, or the industrial, so that they can just pass the projects. And those will be the projects that get passed, the ones that are for the Yankees, that are for the internationalists, that nothing that is going to actually, benefit Canadians or people.
Of course not. No one's benefiting
oil
Canadians.
fields.
The people that are flipping these bills are being benefited. Anyways, Glenn, listen, I'm into my third hour here.
No doubt.
I'll let you go. I want you to call in on episode 666, okay?
Oh yeah, man, I will totally do that. This is going to be sweet.
Yeah.
The 66. We need to have like a metal band playing you bumper music.
I'll figure something out for the show. I'll figure out something for the show. I don't know. But episode 666, let's do this. I'll see you then. I'll see you in, what is it, 664 now? So I'll see you. Call in 2 weeks, okay, buddy?
Oh, yeah, certainly.
We'll get you back on. And get us some stories, okay? We'll talk soon. God bless you.
Keep up the good work, Mike. God bless your audience. Keep listening, folks. We got to spread the truth. People are starting to wake. They're starting to listen.
Oh, thanks for buying me a coffee last week. You bought me a coffee last week. I appreciate that. I appreciate it very much.
I'm drinking the campfire coffee myself, so it's tough times out here, but it's the least I can do, man. Keep that show rolling. They're coming after us all with this censorship. I was just watching the World Alternative Media. That's, what's the guy's name? Not Joseph, Jacob, something. Josh. It's Josh Sigurdson. And he was saying about how he's been censored off of the YouTube for the last months, and it's these new bills.
Stop crying. Tell him to stop crying. I've been censored for 12, 14 years. I had someone write a letter from Texas. Someone in Texas, I read the email that I wasn't going to get a plaque or 100,000 subscriber plaque on my channel. Somebody wrote a letter to YouTube. No, this was before. Someone wrote a letter to YouTube when I was stuck at 53,000 subscribers for like 5 years. They wrote him. Somebody wrote a letter to them, said, "You better unlock this mother effer. You guys are strangling this guy, and it's been almost a decade." And then they emailed me, told me when I reach 100,000, I wasn't going to receive a plaque, 100,000 plaque. Then that same person from Texas, I don't know if he's like a legal guy, wrote a letter to YouTube, like the legal entity office, and wrote him a letter, and he must have couriered it to them, because 2 days later, they called me and sent me a plaque, and then now I've been gaining 10,000 subscribers every month on YouTube, like no one's business. But I'm still shadow banned on YouTube because I can't get more than 100 views on my videos. So, you see where I'm going, right? So,
yeah, if we could get the message out if we were just allowed to. This is what all the new bills with, as soon as Carney got in, the first thing they went for was all the censorship bills, and they are just looking to shut us up.
Yeah.
But Canadians got to speak out, just like you're doing, Mike. You got the show. You got to get your audience to get out there and call in and start talking in our communities. If they don't want to listen, just go on, talk to the next person, because as you start talking to people, they're willing to listen.
Mm-hmm.
They're like I said about my buddy with the construction, you have to figure out a way to flank them, come at them again, flank them, come at them again. And then they're like, oh, well, yeah, actually, I guess my job is kind of tenuous and actually, geez. And I was talking to a guy who works in masonry. So it's like the finishing part of the condos, the walkways, the exterior walls. And it's like, yeah, look at the new projects. They're not starting by the time that they get all these projects finished. So you're looking at like another summer.
Yeah.
When they haven't put the starts in, then all of a sudden they're going to be way behind. And, it's like what you do. You got to do the math and then look another quarter out, another year out, another 4 years out. And people just are not willing to, if it's only what's in front of their face. And if you can wake them up with what's in front of their face and then say, hey, look at the road behind us. Hey, look at where we've come. Like what you were talking about earlier. You put it more succinct than I'm rambling on about. So I'll let you go. But hey, God bless your audience. Keep listening, folks. This is a great show. So
Thanks,
keep up
brother.
the good work, Mike.
God bless you. Bye. All right, that's our boy Glenn, Canada's famous homeless man. So someone in the comments are saying Riverside Homeless Shelter in Abbotsford, BC, Canada. The government CFIA gave the homeless people $25,000 in cash in hand to take the COVID vaccine. Carney is a new replacement for Henry Kissinger, City of London. And Albertans are making the minimum payment on every debt in Canada. No other province is generating any surplus. Yeah, Canada's a resource plantation, but China owns a majority of it, though. Coal mines, gold mines, silver mines, lithium-ion mines. China's got its hands. We made individual videos for all of this. Individual videos for all this stuff that China's been doing. Yeah, Whole Foods Market paid their workers $50 each to get the jab. Alberta First is saying we've lost $600 billion in investment. Alberta First needs to call into the show. I'm happy that Abba Fields called into the show. We got to get a lot of people. Guys, episode 666, we're going to do a fundraising episode, like a telethon, 6-hour marathon. And we're going to try and raise $100 for my internet bill. If you guys on episode 666, we're going to try and do a 6-hour marathon. I don't know if I could sit for 6 hours. But I'll get callers in to kind of carry the show over a bit. So someone's saying, Mark is saying, yes, I was a resident in the shelter when they offered me the money to take the COVID-19 vaccine. I was tempted, but I said no. Then I went to sleep in my tent. Yeah, so Abba Fields in for the telethon. 3 hours of the marathon could be with Supreme Cannon. Yeah, we could, yeah. He's going to be in and out of the show. Supreme Cannon's going to be our back and forth guy, right? I need Roden Dung needs to call into the show. I know who he is. He needs to call in and talk to us. I'll see if I get General Lee to call into the show. Hopefully we can get the Raven to call into the show. Hopefully we can get... like anyone that's chatting the thing, call into the show. It's simple. Just add me on Instagram, message me. Okay, I check my messages right now. Look, see, oh, No Way Jose messaged me. Mike, I'll come on the show on Monday. I was in Canada for 2 weeks. So No Way Jose, we'll get him on the show. I want to get everyone on 666 too, right? So 666. I want to see if I could get Ben down in South Africa. We'll get our friends down in Australia. We'll try and get Anna Key on the show. We'll try and get... I'll just try my best to get whoever I can on the show. Get all you guys on the show on episode 666. I'm tired. I'm tired. Yeah. I'm tired. Let's see if anyone bought me any more coffees. So thank you, Tio, for the coffee. Thank you, PDS10 for the coffee. And that's B. It was BG. BG. The king of rap. The king. BG there for the coffee. And yeah, we always average about 3 coffees. Lenny Poo, we need to get on. Yeah, we got to get on callers. Yeah, we got to get Anna Key. I got to talk to Anna Key, see what she's up to. But yeah, I need you guys on 666. So I'll be kind of slightly advertising it through the next couple of days, next 2 weeks. And yeah, it's been a long day for me, guys. I'm tired. Anyways, guys, thanks for being here on Mike of the Night. I have some send-off music here. What do we got for send-off music? Yeah, right here. Yeah, Ricky Spanish, we need to get back on. I think Ricky Spanish got a new Instagram account.
For 3 hours.
Ricky Spanish.
Signal detected. Mike in the
Ricky Spanish.
It's 3 a.m. Screens still glow. Satellites watching below. Red lights blinking on every street. Truth buried 6 feet deep. Paper signed in quiet rooms. Deals made under crescent moons. Digital chains you never see. There's something in you wants to break free. They say it's safe. They say it's fine. But why's that camera watching mine? Clock hits free. The veil gets thin. You feel the static on your skin. Baseline truth, all at your fires. No more silence, no more talking. I have spoken. Bank accounts tracked every swipe.
Mike Martins here, signing off for episode 664 of Mike in the Night. Take care, and if you can't take care, stay safe. Mike Martins here. I have spoken.
Control expands, digital cuffs on steady hands, but in the dark the people wake. Feel the system start to shake. Eyes up, wake up, speak up, stand up. They fear the ones who see the play. They fear the ones who won't obey. The quiet truth begins to grow. Signal cutting through the room. Truth breaking through the blue. Like in the night, no disguise piercing through the alibis. real talk starts. When the lights dim, we reveal the parts. Not red or blue, not left or right, just raw transmission. Mike in the night.